All right, let me check my notes here. Okay, so we want to open up talking about and body transformation. From there, we want to move into assessing the public database. How much does the public know about melanin and diabetes? At that point, we begin to transition and talk a little bit more about me and the purpose of the video, the film, the mockumentary, and then we bring on Marvin Burwell, which is probably the most simple, to the point, and focused diabetes explanation you'll ever hear. But this is not an all right, let me check my notes here. Okay, so we want to open up talking about weight loss and body transformation. From there, we want to move into assessing the public database. How much does the public know about melanin and diabetes? At that point, we begin to transition and talk a little bit more about me and the purpose of the video, the film, the mockumentary, and then we bring on Marvin Burwell, which is probably the most simple, to the point, and focused diabetes explanation you'll ever hear. But this is not an explanation. This is a testimony of what it is that we can do, because Marvin Burwell is giving you his story and his struggle with diabetes. Jimmy Mitchell talks about his mom's struggle with multiple stage 4 cancers, and ultimately how she was able to heal herself of all of those stage 4 cancers after being condemned to hospice. From there, we kind of move into Dr. Enqi, myself, the family, and the overarching relationship between fatherhood and being a healer, and how nature has created within its dynamic of mother, father, and child, the healer as the father. So real fathers are real. And in real time, it's a lot easier for me to manage my life than people may think from the outside looking in. Something very important that people don't discuss: reaching the masses. How do we teach life-saving information to the masses when many of them are unaware, ignorant to the facts, may not even be interested, but these are the things that they need to save their lives and the lives of their loved ones? So real fathers are real healers, and in real time, it's a lot easier for me to manage my life than people may think from the outside looking in. Something very important that people don't discuss: reaching the masses. How do we teach life-saving information to the masses when many of them are unaware, ignorant to the facts, may not even be interested, but these are the things that they need to save their lives and the lives of their loved ones? And I had a really remarkable opportunity to link with a brother named Enqi and another brother that everybody knows, Davis. And those two gentlemen allowed me to invest in them financially, and them investing in me emotionally, mentally, as an OG, then presenting the positivity. And Davis turning around, and now he is a fitness mogul in and of his own right. So it's not just about sharing the message, but also how the butterfly effect happens with knowledge, information, and blessing. Then we go to our brother, Osborne, who talks about reversing multiple stroke conditions, diabetes, tumor growths, you name it, with documentation, right? I think we start winding down. At that point, I think we begin to start winding down, and it's more about the philosopher's tone, the body shop workout, plasma picnic, and last but not least, Councilman Robert Scott and the mayor of Peekskill welcoming us in, passing legislation for us. First time ever in history. First time ever in American history. This has been done. The undoable. Oh, the government is against the alternative. No. Stop all that. Got the ribbon cutting.
necessary for you to explain yourself, bro.
Hey, man. Man's gotta eat.
Not that much cookies. Look at that.
I'm live.
Cool. What's going on, man? Yeah, I was telling you when I first learned about the 40-day fast, and I could order some of the products. Yeah, I think I was probably around like 390.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I was about around that time, like around that size. Because
So it's safe to say you might have. It's safe to say you might have had a sandwich or two out.
I was just like finding out about things, and I was like, I did the 40-day fast, like you said. And I was out there exercising. Pounds just started coming out.
Wow.
So I had already transitioned into like the vegan lifestyle, but when I heard about the 40, I was like, oh, this sounds like more what I want to do. Anyway, so I did that. I ordered, I think, the chemiluminescence, and I might have had some ocean steak too at the time.
Bro, when I seen how you was moving, you started to inspire me.
Man, that's good, man.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. You started to inspire me as if the 40-day was your plan, and I was trying to figure, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand what keeps me awake at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my drive. When I see that people is, like the benefit. When I see the benefit, that pushed me further. Like, oh, okay, so this is we can do this. It's happening. You know what I'm saying? And then each person.
Because like we've been doing it like off and on, like, and so now I just like came up with the one that we just had, and I've been telling my mama and like her friends and stuff about it. So I'm trying to get them on. I said I'm about to do another one. But anytime I do it, I be trying to gather as many people as I can to do it, like, so they can all get the same effects. Right.
So let me ask you this: as somebody that has done the more strict version of the 40-day fast, where you have the 5 different, dietary plans every 8 days, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Versus the newer relaxed version, vitamin D, K, 60 and 60, morning light, 13 and 7. Like, which one do you think is easier?
So for me, they not that much different, because like I already like
Let me stop you right there. I just was explaining to somebody yesterday, that the 13 and 7 is still the same old 40-day, because what I did was exactly what I did was I just took the 16 hours from the 8 and 8 and reduced it down to make it easier to 13, give people a little bit more wiggle room. And then I took the 8 hours of eating, and I did make that a little stricter. I put that from 8 hours of eating to 7 hours or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it's based on the same 8-8-8 plan, because you only get 24 hours in a day. Time management. Time management and critical thinking are probably the 2 most under-taught subjects in our entire global society.
You ever heard that diabetes and melanin is mixed up, or that diabetes affects melanin?
A little.
What you heard about?
I want to say or make a guess that maybe with the pigmentation, like it may be kind of, like to get through. I want to say because of our genes.
All right. Have you ever heard of melanin?
Yeah.
What is melanin?
It's a biological chemical in your skin that creates pigment.
Okay. What about, have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yeah.
What's diabetes?
Your lack of ability to break down sugar in your body.
My dad has diabetes.
So let me ask ask y'all this. Have you ever, do you drink cow's milk?
I have drank cow's milk. I've cut down a bit, but I drink a little.
Does it have vitamin D in it?
Yes.
Where does it come from?
The cow? I don't know.
There he is. Up, Homo. Up. Is he vicious? No, he's perfectly harmless. Well, he only has the mentality of a child, 7 years old. Does he ever get out of control? Oh, once in a while he kind of gets nervous and excited, but we always calm him down by giving him candy or sweet things. He loves candy.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
I have not.
Okay. Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
What you know about diabetes?
The blood sugar, and a lot of people have it.
Okay. What about cow's milk?
I do not.
You don't drink it?
You said cow's milk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You drink it or you don't?
I do drink it.
Does it have vitamin D?
I do not.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
Yeah.
Can you describe melanin?
It's the color pigment in your skin that produces brown pigments.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
Can you describe diabetes?
It's a condition. There's type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is, like, as you mentioned, insulin-mediated response that's not sufficient, and then you can also not produce enough insulin. Type 2, you are not responding to your insulin anymore.
Can you describe diabetes attacking melanin?
Unfortunately, no.
Do you drink cow's milk?
No.
And why?
It's gross.
Have you ever heard of melanin before?
Yes.
What's melanin?
Now, see, that's a trick question.
No, it ain't.
It's black people.
Okay. You ever heard of diabetes before?
Yes.
What's diabetes?
It's it's not a disorder, but it is where your pancreas isn't producing the proper stuff to break down the sugar in your body.
What about cow's milk?
Cow's milk, no.
You drink it or
I don't have an answer for that one.
no? I mean, do you drink cow's milk?
Oh, cow's milk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Does cow's milk have vitamin D in it?
Says it does.
Do you know where that vitamin D comes from?
No.
You ever heard that diabetes and melanin is mixed up, or that diabetes affects melanin?
A little.
What you heard about?
I want to say or make a guess that maybe with the pigmentation, like it may be kind of, like to get through, I want to say, because of our genes.
All right. First question: have you ever heard of melanin before?
Yeah.
What's melanin?
It's a pigmentation in your skin, right?
Okay. Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes. My grandfather had diabetes.
What you know about diabetes?
I know it's 2 types. I remember my grandfather had one. He passed away from that and other complications, but I played football in high school with a guy, young guy. We graduated together. He also had diabetes, but it was like the lesser of the 2. I guess he was born with it, so I guess it wasn't like as bad or something like that. But I don't know much about it. I know my grandfather used to have to take these shots in his stomach. I think it comes from like eating too much sugar or something like that. But I don't know much about it though.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
Oh no, never heard of that.
What about milk? You drink milk, like cow's milk?
No, I go with the oat milk. The cow's milk mess my stomach up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said oat milk?
Yeah, oat milk. I mess with the oat milk.
All right, so first question. Have you ever heard of melanin before?
I have.
Okay, what you heard about melanin? What is melanin?
Melanin is the pigment in our skin.
Okay. Have you ever heard of diabetes?
I have.
What's diabetes?
It's when your blood sugar doesn't make enough, or is it too high or too low?
Okay. You know what's cow's milk? You drink cow's milk?
I do not,
Why don't you drink cow's milk?
because it's full of mucus. It's not really nothing that we're supposed to be drinking. I drink almond milk.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
Yeah.
Can you describe melanin?
No. I've heard of it.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yeah.
Can you describe diabetes?
Like type 1 and type 2.
Yeah.
Either one. Okay, type 1 is like an insulin, like your insulin receptor is like you have like your blood cells are kind of like broken in a sense, and like then you can't like process insulin, right?
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
I think so, yeah.
Do you drink cow's milk?
No.
And why?
Because I think it's gross. I think the idea of it's really disgusting.
There he is. Up, Homo. Up. Is he vicious? No, he's perfectly harmless. Well, he only has the mentality of a child, 7 years old. Does he ever get out of control? Oh, once in a while he kind of gets nervous and excited, but we always calm him down by giving him candy or sweet things. He loves candy or sweet things. He loves candy. Sweet things. He loves candy. Watch. Homo. Yum yum. Eat him up. Eat him up. Yum yum. Eat him up. Eat him up. Calls candy. Yum yum. Eat him up. Yum yum. Eat him up. Everything's all right. Go ahead and open up. Thanks.
Yep, that's him all right. Have you ever heard of melanin?
Like melanin for sleep or? No, I'm thinking melatonin. So melanin, no, never heard of it.
Okay. Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
Can you describe diabetes?
Type 1 or type 2 or both?
Just diabetes.
It's where your pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin to break down the sugars in your blood.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No, because I've never heard of melanin.
Do you drink cow's milk?
Not very often, no.
Why?
I just medicinal choice and not really that available.
Okay, so the first question is, have you ever heard of melanin before?
That's the name of who?
Melanin?
Melanin? That sounds like a female name.
It's a pigment in your body.
Oh, that's what I just told him. Hey, now I pronounce it melanin.
Okay.
From the dark to the light is one of them.
All right, three quick questions. Have you ever heard of melanin before?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a different shade of skin tone.
Okay.
How much pigmentation you do or don't have.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's diabetes?
Bad. No.
The right answer.
It's elevated sugar levels.
Have you ever heard of diabetes and melanin mixed in any kind of way?
No.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get a lot of that if you eat that home.
All right. Have you ever heard of melanin before?
No. Melanin? No.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yeah.
What you know about diabetes?
Diabetes, blood pressure, nothing. Hold on, diabetes, sugar, high sugar. That amputates you if your sugar level ain't right or your sugar level lower too high. If I'm mistaken, my granddaddy died of diabetes back in '96. You take the pressure point for his finger and put it in the machine, and it come out, read it. If it's too low, I eat a candy bar or a piece of candy or something to even it out. My uncle just died recently of that too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get a lot of that if you eat that home. Sugar hallelujah up in this house. Keep your shiny.
Have you ever heard of diabetes affecting melanin?
Hey.
Have you ever heard of diabetes affect your melanin?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay.
From the dark to the light is one of us.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get a lot of that if you eat that home. Sugar hallelujah up in this house. Keep your shiny.
Have you ever heard of diabetes affecting melanin?
Hey, the hog will affect anything. The hog will affect anything.
You gotta take a, I gotta take a picture? Yeah, you photo. Oh my goodness.
Have you ever heard of melanin? Have
Yes,
you ever
sir.
heard? You know what melanin is?
It has something to do with the skin.
Okay. You ever heard of diabetes before?
Yes.
What's diabetes?
It has something to do with your health.
You ever heard that diabetes and melanin is mixed up, or that diabetes affects melanin?
A little.
What you heard about?
I want to say or make a guess that maybe with the pigmentation, like it may be kind of, you know, like to get through, I want to say, because of our genes.
I'm glad you brought that up. You know we come out of slavery. You ain't been over here about the blood I'm talking about between 400 and 500 years. We was raised on a lot of hogs. And our ancestors prayed over that hog, and the Lord blessed us to come through that hog.
Do you know what melanin is?
I sure don't.
Okay. All right. Have you ever heard of diabetes?
I have.
Okay. Could you tell us about diabetes?
Diabetes is when your sugar levels are off.
Have you ever heard of diabetes affecting melanin?
Yes, I have. Actually, is it melanin like cancer? Cancer? Is it melanin like cancer?
Okay.
Now, I'm going to go to Leviticus 18 when he was revealing to Moses about the children of Israel and what we're supposed to eat and not to eat. Now, God is God, and he'll lose his credibility if he wasn't. Now, God is God, and he'll lose his credibility if he wasn't. Like I said, being repetitious, God blessed us to eat that hog back 400 when they brought the ancestors over here.
Have you ever heard of melanin? Can you describe melanin?
No.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yeah.
Can you describe diabetes?
Yeah, it's an insulin issue.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No.
Do you drink cow's milk?
Yes,
Is there vitamin D in cow's milk?
I think so.
Is there more vitamin D or cow snot in cow's milk?
Don't really know how to answer that.
God blessed us to eat that hog back 400 when they brought the ancestors over here. He blessed us because the master, we had no choice but to eat buttermilk and cornbread in that hog after waking from sun up to sundown. You know they chained us up in the beginning. Yeah, we telling the truth about us in this country, Babylon, United States of America,
Have you ever heard of melanin?
Melanin? No.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Oh yeah.
Can you describe diabetes?
Well, it's a sugar problem with insulin.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No.
Okay. Do you drink cow's milk?
Do I drink cow's milk? Yes, I suppose I do, yeah.
Yeah. Is there vitamin D in cow's milk?
I have no idea.
Here come Daniel. I remember when they brought us out, when they raided Jerusalem and brought us back there with Nebuchadnezzar, brought us there. And Daniel, he was telling them, he said, look here, bring the brightest one of us up between here, up here so I can find out what the children of Israel, what they eat and what they do and so forth. But Daniel, I'm going to fast forward. Daniel was a slave too. He told that centurion, he gained favor with him. He said, Nebuchadnezzar, so he said, give them the wine and the meat we eat. Apparently in the United States.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
Yes, I have.
Can you describe melanin?
Melanin is the color of your skin pigment.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes, I have.
Can you describe diabetes?
In simple, it's your body's inability to either utilize your insulin or properly make insulin in your body.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No, not specifically, but I could see that it would.
Do you drink cow's milk?
No.
Why?
I'm vegan, and cow's milk is not meant for humans.
Hey, give that hog and eat all this here. Yeah, but I'm gonna go back to Daniel again. Daniel say, got in touch with himself. He say, give me for 10 days. He say, don't give me Nebuchadnezzar's food. Don't give me this food up here in America that they give these slaves. He say, give me vegetables and water, and I prove to you I'll be looking better than Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Because you know they changed them names, but anyway, I ain't gonna go into all that history. But anyway, one thing about it, getting back to the melon. I've said all that to the melon. And I'm gonna go all the way back to the Garden of Eden.
All right, 3 questions really quick, sir. The first question is, have you ever heard of melanin?
Yes.
What is that?
Stuff that makes them black.
Okay. Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
What is diabetes?
Stuff that makes people sick.
Okay. Have you ever heard of diabetes having anything to do with melanin?
No.
Get back to the melon. I've said all that to the melon. And I'm gonna go all the way back to the Garden of Eden. When Father Yahweh, he told Adam, he said, the day you eat, I'm gonna stop right there at E-A-T. You are what you eat.
Okay. Have you ever heard of melanin?
Yes, I have.
Can you describe melanin?
I think it's, I thought it was the pigment in our skin and something like that. It's something in our skin, or it could be in other places.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes, I have.
Can you describe diabetes?
Diabetes, I think there's several different kinds. There's adult onset. It seems when your insulin, you don't produce enough insulin to take care of the sugars that you're consuming. It's a horrible disease. You can go blind, you can lose your toes.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No, I did not.
Do you drink cow's milk?
Not very much anymore.
Why?
Because I don't think it's good for me.
I done told us what to eat. I'm gonna jump to Leviticus 18 chapter again. You know what to eat up here is. You know what to eat up in here, in Babylon, in the United States of America. I'm talking about God's people now. I'm talking about God's people. I go all the way back to the Israelites. Who sent you? God. I am up here in America.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
Actually I haven't, no.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
Can you describe diabetes?
That's when your blood sugar can become too high and it can hurt your body.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No.
Do you drink cow's milk? Is there vitamin D in cow's milk?
I haven't checked.
And he told us, he said, you Ethiopians, see, I'm gonna bring you back. Hey, what you talking about bring you back, Lord, up here in this land here? We done brought our ancestors, they done stripped us of our intelligence and everything. They stripped us and told us we this and that, changed name, and told us to eat this. Wait a minute, he said, what you mean don't bring you?
Have you ever heard of melanin?
No.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No, I haven't.
Do you drink cow's milk?
Cow's milk? Yeah.
Is there vitamin D in cow's milk?
I'm not sure.
You know what to eat up in here, in Babylon, in the United States of America. I'm talking about God's people now. I'm talking about God's people. I go all the way back to the Israelites. Who sent you? God. I am up here in America. And he told us, he said, you Ethiopians, see, I'm going to bring you back. Hey, what you talking about bring you back, Lord, up here in this land here? We done brought our ancestors, they done stripped us of our intelligence and everything. They stripped us and told us we this and that, changed name, and told us to eat this. Wait a minute, he said, what you mean I'm gonna bring you back? Not materialistically, I'm gonna bring you back in your soul and your mind and let you know who you are up here in Babylon. in the United States of America. Israel.
How you doing, sis?
Okay.
3 questions real quick. Have you ever heard of melanin? Do you know what that is?
No.
Have you ever heard of diabetes? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
What's diabetes?
Diabetes, like. Wait a minute. Because they're trying to diagnose me with that. And it's something to do with your blood, eating habits or something.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of diabetes mixed with melanin in any kind of way?
No.
Now I'm gonna take it all the way back. Now the last prophet that came. Now this is what I believe in, the last prophet. I believe in Joshua way. I'll slash it to Jesus the Christ, that priest. I am a priest of the Most High.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
Yes.
Can you describe melanin?
The type that I've heard is more skin color.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes, I've had 2 friends.
Can you describe diabetes?
So the diabetes that I know was type 1, and it was more they just couldn't eat much sugar. If they did, they would have a diabetes kind of relapse, and it would just make their kidneys and liver kind of shut down on them.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
Yes.
Can you describe diabetes attacking melanin?
No.
Do you drink cow's milk?
Not much anymore. I used to when I was younger.
And why? Do you not?
Due to the saying, builds your bones. Parents saying, and was raised on farms.
And is there vitamin D in cow's milk?
To my knowledge, yes, as well as more vitamin C.
And is there more vitamin D or cow snot in cow's milk?
More cow's not in milk than vitamin D.
Now I'm gonna identify myself. I am the first son of Isaac and Pharaoh. My spiritual name is Okapara.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
I recognize that word. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
Can you describe diabetes?
It's intolerance to sugar, sort of thing.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
No.
Do you drink cow's milk?
I do. Yeah, mixed. Yeah. Yes.
Is there vitamin D in cow's milk?
That's a great question. I don't actually know.
Now I'm gonna identify myself. I am the first son of Isaac and Pharaoh. My spiritual name is Okapara. That means first son in Nigeria. I am a first son. And y'all know the prophecy when God came down with me and the inheritance. Now, that righteous seed, that first son, we're talking first son. I mean, yeah, you can get to the females too, but that first son, we're talking the blood, that melon, the original blood.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
No, I need more. I need more.
Can you describe melanin?
A sleepy one? How many questions, sir?
Melanin.
Yes. Yes?
Yes? Have you ever heard of melanin?
No, I need more. I need more.
Can you describe melanin?
A sleepy one?
Can you describe melanin?
A sleepy one? How many questions, sir?
Melanin.
Yes. Yes?
Yes? Have you ever heard of melanin?
No, I need more. I need more. How many questions, sir?
Melanin.
Yes. Yes?
Yes? Have you ever heard of melanin?
No, I need more. I need more. How many questions, sir?
Melanin.
Yes. Yes?
Yes? Can you describe melanin?
A sleepy one?
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
Can you describe diabetes?
So diabetes, to me, there's 2 types. There's type 1 and there's type 2. So there's a type that you're born with. I'm pretty sure it's type 2. I'm a little bit drunk right now. If you are born with diabetes, either way, it means that you cannot produce insulin properly. And that means that you can't process sugar, which can lead to a number of different, it can lead to a number of different physical difficulties, such as, number 1, you're probably carrying heavy weight.
Do you drink cow's milk?
No. Ew.
Why?
Dairy has always made me feel really weird since I was little, and I feel uncomfortable drinking it.
Yeah, from the earth that you're coming. We're going back. But I'm going to go to Ecclesiastes 12:7 when our brother Solomon was writing, and he was saying, the preacher said, wait a minute, all this stuff is vanity, but the full duty of man is to love God and to keep his commandments. That is the full duty of man. I'm going to bring you back, Israel.
Have you ever heard of melanin? Can you describe melanin? Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes.
Can you describe diabetes?
low blood sugar and
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
no.
Do you drink cow's milk? And why?
Now, I'm gonna go with the Moses now when he was up on the mountain signing that right. Oh God, give him this first law. The first one.
Have you ever heard of melanin?
Melanin, I haven't, but it sounds like a medicine.
Have you ever heard of diabetes?
Yes, I have, my dear. My friends have had it.
Can you describe it?
I've had some during the hot summer days where they've, while we're car racing and stuff, and the sugar levels and stuff, and we've had to inject, and it's a big deal.
Have you ever? Oh, sorry.
Passed out at the wheel and stuff because of it.
Have you ever heard that diabetes attacks melanin?
I haven't, no.
Do you drink cow's milk?
I do.
And is there vitamin D in cow's milk?
I don't know, but I take vitamin D pills because Avon Svensson here works at a cow farm and milks cows for a dairy farm, and I get to drink it out of the tanks and stuff. But for vitamin D, I take that by pills. I am 50 years old.
And is there more vitamin D or cow snot in cow's milk?
I'm gonna ask you to repeat that question.
Is there more vitamin D or cow snot in cow's milk?
I'm gonna go vitamin D.
Tell Israel up here in Babylon, don't forget the Lord thy God that brought them out of slavery. I ain't going to, he's been brought you out of Egypt, but I'm talking about up here. Up here in the United States of America. Who brought you out? Or some of you say the Gentiles or the Caucasians. No. God brought us out. He said he's going to bring us back and know who we are.
I don't want to shout his name. Okay? Up and down the street, every single day. Brittle diabetic. Just brittle. Where's that person that walked past? I don't know if he come past here because there's no interest. That says, yo, but let me give you this, can I give you something? It doesn't happen. So I admire you for trying to get a resolution in your name and after
I'm trying. I got it.
Okay, and it goes down in history with
the first time. It's the first time in the city's history.
It's not.
It is the first time.
How much? Will get on?
Yeah, we could better.
Okay, wait. The thing is, wait. I want to hear the rest of your sentence before you start that. What's the next part?
The next part is we need more of an outreach, of an old foot soldier type outreach.
Headed by you?
Headed by whoever.
No. Wait. This is me and you talking. Because I'm from the school where I don't discuss problems that I'm not willing to get in front of. So look, like when you said, go to the projects, I'm saying let's go to the projects now.
My name is, I'm downtown Brown, lady, and I've been in an initiative for 30 years. Every institution in this community.
Let's hold hands and walk to the projects now and go get them there.
Have done just what I'm talking about. In fact, what I'm saying is we need more of a comprehensive.
Right, when you say comprehensive, what you got to understand is there's a part of this, and not the smaller part, the larger portion of this is actually on the people who are diabetic and pre-diabetic. If I said right now, it's $1 million sitting up there in the Walgreens parking lot in a red car with the doctor.
On their knees.
So my point is but this is what I'm saying. What Rob is saying right now is that there's $1 million parked at the Paramount tomorrow night for the people who are losing their lives. If your life is not that important to you, that you would not walk over 2 or 3 blocks to save your own life, there is no initiative or outreach program that can reach that person. Where we are is, me and you in the juice bar. So where we actually are is, your boots, my boots, to the ground. The event is tomorrow. What can you and I do now to improve our outcome?
Absolutely. No, you got the teacher.
No. But these is teachers. So they here even to accompany me and you to the projects now so we can talk this shit there, down there.
That's how we doing it. How much breakout? Yes.
Hey, God.
We're doing an event tomorrow. Black people, diabetes, cancer, health in the black community.
Right.
Tickets is $35.
Okay. I got work all day tomorrow, so I would definitely.
What time you get off work?
9 o'clock at night. So. I gotta be already at 10 o'clock in the morning.
But.
I spread the word for you, though.
What's your name?
Dean.
All right, I'm Dr. Enqi. Let people know if they get here at 3:30 and they say Dr. Enqi, put them on the guest list.
Okay.
I will get them in for free.
Okay.
Tomorrow at the Paramount Theater at this time at 4 o'clock. Yeah, the tickets is normally $35, but I'm the guy that's going to be speaking. My name is Dr. Enqi. What's your name? 35. What's your name? Greta. If you come to the door at 3:30 and you tell them Dr. Enqi spoke to you himself, you and up to 10 people could get in for free. Because I want to make sure that the community is represented.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand. So come up there and get to the door, you tell them Rob Scott or Dr. Enqi send you, and make sure we get you in there for free and anybody you bring with you. Alright. It's $35 a ticket, but anybody you bring with you and you, I'll get you in there for free. It starts at 3:30.
We getting seed money. Woo. Woo. We need seed money. That's that seed money. We need that.
Make money. Make money. Make money. Make money.
In what ways does the black race need healing? One of the areas that the black race need healing most is in the central nerve system.
I appreciate you. I thank you. I welcome you. This is an epidemic, adventure, hip hop, mossumentary. Mossumentary sound way cooler than Q-mentary, right? Yeah, psychology. That doesn't. It's like bloom. That doesn't really hit. So yeah. Anyway, but this is a documentary on the most underground rap culture in the world. The Teacher. The Teacher was hunted and all but killed in these hip hop streets, so they went underground. My name is Dr. Enqi. I was born in the Bronx in 1977. The crack epidemic hit my mom's and her family very hard. My father and his family were insulated by the heroin trade, popularly known as blue magic. I had an exciting childhood, to say the least, and became a father at 13 years old. I wanted to eventually challenge the stereotypes and forge a new legacy of love and healing. As most kids living with their mom, I thought the world could be saved by fatherhood. I was almost right too. I just found out you needed some plants and some exercise to supplement along with the fatherhood, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, I think I made a pretty good case, city to city, state to state, as these are the roots, pun intended, the roots of husbandry, correct? So I have traveled this country as a single father and naturopathic doctor to share this amazing, profound series of insights culminating in this amazing health secret I discovered, which is that cells talk. Bacteria, virus, cells, oh my, yes, they talk, they communicate, and that conversation determines your health. Yeah, information sharing, just like social media, is how your body works, and you can control that conversation. I did a 9-year study and discovered that this information or conversation is light-based, which makes sense with ATP or phosphorus as the main energy source or carrier wave for information. I know, crazy, right? But Chondrus crispus, the sea moss, the algae, right? Back to our phycology. The very Chondrus crispus that the legendary Dr. Sebi mentioned by name just so happened to be the highest plant-based reserve of phosphorus.
The etymology of photography is the right with light. Big Willie, well I am, type of hype, get it? Do you understand what footage is? Skin on tree trunks with visual acoustics is. What it mean to own your image and likeness exclusive is? That's your light, clueless kid in a ruthless biz. The image is your soul, the likeness is your swag, and it's no way I trade that for a bag. Your soul is electromagnetic fields. Your voice is the specific frequency it yields. Encoding your thoughts, encoding your emotion. When those waves collapse, the culture's your commotion. Keep your guns, your squeeze proper. Culture vultures as cowards and eavesdroppers. The digital age, we clearly got it labels. Sound becoming light as the periodic table.
Electromagnetic waves.
Like just coincidentally. The pigment obviously is what transfers and transforms light and information, but also you got to realize these plant-based pigments in these algae have some funky antioxidant and medicinal properties. So that's what I preach and teach. Your body's pigment system requires plant pigments and fibers to make it work, to heal, to regenerate. Our Blue Magic gel, our Blue Magic sea moss gel, our Blue Magic conscious caviar. Ooh, that vegan caviar. The Lamborghini of sea moss gel, the Bugatti of sea moss gel, the private jet of sea moss gel, the Blue Magic, our special universal blend. This is our key, and in the study, which became a blog post, an article that morphed into this massive movement and documentary and lecture series and everything that's going on right now, it was based around some key anomalies which sparked my curiosity in BMI, metabolism, diabetes risk factor, just how they distributed amongst nationalities and race. Gregor Mendel led us to believe that we had dominant genes. So I was wondering, how could people with dominant genes have the shortest lifespan? How could people with dominant genes have a 200% higher risk factor for, diabetes or metabolic illness, or just some of these things I wanted to dig deeper into, like the relationship between cancer and diabetes, which I find out later is insulin itself. So we sponsored schools and lectures, and we went to juvenile facilities and concerts and created online classes and seminars and wrote books and articles and inspired tomorrow's leaders and motivational speakers and today's personalities, and you'd be surprised. But now we're asking you to take this initiative just as serious, if not more. Primary preventative care and primary post care, based on our protocols.
Do you understand what footage is? Skin on tree trunks with visual acoustics is. What it mean to own your image and likeness exclusive is? That's your light, clueless kid in a ruthless biz. The image is your soul, the likeness is your swag, and it's no way I trade that for a bag. Your soul is electromagnetic fields. Your voice is the specific frequency it yields. Encoding your thoughts, encoding your emotion. When those waves collapse, the culture's your commotion. Keep your guns, your squeeze proper. Culture vultures is cowards and eavesdroppers. The digital age, we clearly got it labels. Sound becoming light as the periodic table.
Dad, the CMOS is burning. Come check it.
Oh my God, bro. What are you doing? Why didn't you just... Bro.
Come around once in a blue, just to show you that we love you and we'll never leave, 'cause we are we're the same way every day.
Diabetes type 2. Man, that's metabolic. That's a metabolic disorder. Being somebody who went through, second stage hypertension with the blood pressure and diabetes type 2, I could definitely tell you my experience with the whole thing. The constant bathroom breaks after eating food, especially food that was high in carbs, the constant thirst, the dry lips, the blurry vision, and sometimes even the blood flow, like you get a little tingling in the edge of your fingers and your feet and stuff like that. Those things start to happen. But diabetes type 2, by definition, insulin resistant diabetes, not type 1, where you need insulin injections because you just don't have the activity from your pancreas, which is in the liver. You just don't have the activity that you need in terms of the insulin coming in. Now, insulin itself is used to help you actually gain weight. The insulin links up with the sugar molecules in your body. It's kind of like a beacon to let your cells know to let the sugar in or the energy in so that it can be burned up. And if you have too much energy in your body already, then instead of it using the sugars to create energy for you, it'll actually move in the opposite direction, and the sugars will be stored within the fat cells. And this is, you can imagine, overfilling yourself with too many sugars over time without burning up as much as you eat. It starts to put weight on you, and then you get the obesity, and then you got to deal with that. So we can see that the excess sugar is not really a good thing. Sugar is also it's a crystal. So because sugar crystals don't dissolve very well, you need water to help push it out. So you can imagine if you don't drink a lot of water, then of course you'll start to feel signs of dehydration because of the sugar. Because remember, the sugar it's got to get out through water means or by being burned up. So it will actually, because the crystals are there, your body will start to dump water from your own tissues and your veins and capillaries, which is the channels that blood moves through. It'll start to pull water out of those, and that dehydrates you, so you get more thirsty. Then eventually your lips dry out, the blood vessels in your eyes dry out, so you get blurry vision, and then eventually you lose your vision. And we know that the sugar will stack up in areas furthest from the heart, which is the foot. And since sugar is a dehydrator, if you don't have a lot of water in your body, eventually it'll pull the water out of the tissues in your feet, and then the tissues will start to die off, and they'll start to turn colors, and then that creates a bit of a situation where eventually things start getting cut off, as you guys know, for diabetes. So if you can imagine, you eat this sugar, right, and then you digest it, and it goes into the bloodstream. And if you look at the veins on your arm or anywhere you see them, you can imagine that's like a highway for your body. Little blood vessels flow within there, and the blood vessels, blood cells help carry stuff, right? So you got the blood cells, and then you got these sugar molecules, and then you got the insulin that your pancreas lets out to give your body the signal that there's energy to be burned in the form of sugar. So the insulin couples up with the sugars, kind of like they're a couple, right? And they're riding in this car, that's the red blood cell, on this highway, which is the veins and capillaries and blood vessels. And they knock on what I like to call the club door, which would be the cells that make up your body. So they're driving through the bloodstream, and they knock on the cell door like, hey, is the club open? We're trying to come in. We're trying to jig and dance and, get this energy out. But you got so much sugar in your system that the cells are full. So you got to stay on the highway and keep driving around looking for a cell to get into. Now, eventually, if you don't, then obviously that highway that we call the red blood vessels gets jammed up like a traffic jam. And like I said earlier, jams up furthest from the heart, which will be in the foot, and then that leads to dehydration and things getting cut off, so on and so forth. So when we take our strength into our own hands and we decide that we want to change things, we want to correct our diet, because remember, our gas tank is overfilled, so to speak. We got so much sugar, so much energy flowing through the bloodstream that the gas tank is overfull. The battery has been overcharged, right? So we have to start burning that up. We have to start getting rid of that so we can eliminate the problem. So exercise becomes a really big deal. So we start exercising, now some of that energy that's either coming in or that's been sitting in the system starts to get burned up. So now the cells, the club, so to speak, right, that the sugars go into with the insulin, now starts to open up. So because that signal from the insulin's there, the cells are able to pull it in, process it, now you have energy to burn. Versus before, when the cells were full and you just had sugar sitting in the bloodstream and you had to hope that you had enough water constantly coming in to keep peeing it out. So our first case is we have to stop the problem. We stop bringing in the processed sugars, the cakes, the candies, the cookies, the pastas, the breads, the craziness, right? And when that stops coming in, now that locks off the limit of the amount of glucose or sugars or whatever that's flowing through our body. So we stop that, first of all. Then we start burning up what's in there. So now the amount, the overflow tank, so to speak, starts to come down. So we're helping ourselves out there. And because we're burning up excess energy. When it comes to the diet, we're not putting more energy in. This includes the smoothies and the healthy stuff too, because remember, it's all energy. It's either slow release, which is the healthy stuff, or fast release, which is the unhealthy stuff. But either way, if we're not bringing that in, we're burning faster than we're bringing things in, which means the numbers are going to naturally come down. So as the numbers come down, you start to notice the symptoms go away, especially if you're getting help from things like herbs and and you're receiving minerals that help to, help out your pancreas, because what can happen is that dehydration can dehydrate your pancreas, and that could cause the cells that release insulin to burn out, and now you can't release insulin, and it turns into diabetes type 1, which could be very dangerous. Now you need insulin injections for the rest of your life. So you can imagine how this diet and exercise thing is really helping you out. So yes, we call it sweet tooth or whatever, but really we just have sugar addictions. And taste is the scientific strategy to bring money into the system. So you gotta start sticking to when you're talking about taste, look for things that the earth create. Start helping yourself out. No more baked goods and cookies and craziness and stuff like that, because diabetes can really turn into a serious problem. It's a big connecting ground to other things, and heart disease and all this stuff like that. So yeah, one can do what needs to be done to reverse the situation. I'm a living testimony. Took a month and a half in my case to get the A1C numbers down, to get the blood pressure down to normal numbers. And as long as you keep in check, stick close to your doctor, you should be all right. Start early, don't wait too long, don't let the medications sit in there too long, and the medication also gets added onto the problem. And you guys can do it. You can reverse it. It's definitely something you can do. It's not a belief, you can do it. So yeah, that's my take on diabetes type 2.
Same time as quantum.
My name is Jimmy Michelle, and this is my story of how I met Dr. Enqi, who was then Minister Enqi. My grandfather had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and I started seeing things about Dr. Sabi and so on and so forth. So it was my idea to send him to the Usha village.
Say, somebody cured AIDS. Y'all be like, yeah, right. Man, it ain't been 24 hours. We gotta pick up the baton and run it across the world. Look at all these tweets. Please watch over and protect Nick if he gonna take over where Nipsey left off.
He offered cures for incurable diseases. He offered hope and life to those about to die.
What they will do with AIDS is the same thing they do with everything else.
He's an immigrant from Honduras who never went to school, college, or medical school. Yet the man known as Dr. Sabi claims to have found a cure for several life-threatening diseases, including AIDS. Too good to be true? Well, you be the judge.
He made black people question
the information that they were getting from their very own medical doctors.
We have been misled not only by the foreigners that are not part of our race, but we were also hoodwinked by our brothers that was trained by those people.
Dr. Sebi did not have to go through university systems once he realized that the knowledge was all around him, that he was walking over medicine.
All right, so we're here at TASO, the AIDS support organization in Uganda, try to get some answers.
When I told my mama that I had cured my 13 AIDS patient, she said, they're gonna get you.
Today, a Brooklyn man who masqueraded as a doctor has been arrested by the state attorney general.
Can you cure AIDS? I have cured AIDS many times, sir, and I can cure AIDS again.
Dr. Sebi had brought so many levels of healing to our community. He, like many other could have for surely been a target of powers that be.
So who's the real problem here? Is it Sebi or is it some pharmaceutical company that is willing to exploit us?
This man has not objectively shown what he does. I would say he either deserves a Nobel Prize or a term in jail, and I vote for the latter. He either deserves a Nobel Prize or has not objectively shown what he does. I would say he either deserves a Nobel Prize or a term in jail, and I vote for the latter. There's a Nobel Prize or a term in jail.
These three guys got Dr. Sebi Nobel Prize in 1996 for the discovery that carbon-based compounds could cure any inflammatory disease.
That's my grandfather, of course. So, talked to my family about doing it. Everybody's like, okay. So that was a bit of a struggle to get them to everybody to pitch in to put in the bread to send my grandfather over to the Usha village. So this was going on for about 2 months. So after I convinced him, it took about 2 months. But then even after the 2 months, we hadn't gotten to a general consensus to get him there. In other words, the funds wasn't up to par. So eventually what wound up happening is we just bought like this big package from Sebi's office so my grandfather could start taking it. So as he started taking it, we actually started to see some progress. So, and what really got it was my grandfather had gone 2 weeks without having a bowel movement. So I was like, yo, that's definitely not good. And like, how can you guys just sit here and think this is cool? So finally, instead of sending him to the Usha village, it was like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll get this big package. So we get the big package in. And then we start seeing the progress. But it was, to me, I think our actions were slow, right? My grandpa, he eventually passed away, and I told myself, look, I'm never gonna let that happen again, right? So for me, I was like, all right, cool. So I went vegan cold turkey. So I'm like, all right, cool. Literally went into the freezer and threw it out, threw things out. So cool. So now we fast forward. My mom got diagnosed with stage 4 breast and lung cancer. So I said, I'll never let this thing happen again. So now, with her diagnosed with the stage 4, I'm like, all right, this that time. And then, so with it being that time, I was like, okay, cool. So we called.
At that time, my family was really in shock. I have my son, which is here with me.
And the daughter. And Enqi, that's your son again. Please.
And my daughter Jessica, she was 11 months old only, but I thought I would never had a chance to see a birthday of my only daughters. But the good Lord pulled me through. That was 1990. 2011, I find out that I had cancer in my right breast. So I go ahead on November the 3rd, I have a surgery. They removed the affected part on my right breast. And on November the 17th again, I have another surgery where they had removed 4 lymph nodes under my right arm. Then I've been taking some medication, but when I went to see an oncology, when my son was questioning the doctors, he just turned his back, he didn't even answer. And then he asking me, I had my uterus has been removed, in 2000. When he asked me question, I said, when I tell him about my uterus being removed, and then he said, did they remove your ovary? I said, no, they had tested, it was okay, so they left it in place. He was so nervous. He hit the tables. He was putting in his hand. He said, excuse me, my language, he said, God damn those people in Miami, because I have that surgery in Miami. Which later, in 2012, they told me the cancer has come back. It's in my lungs, and it's also touching my bone, because there's two types of cancer. I said, there's one that's gonna kill you, and the other one's mice is for the glory of the Lord. But the doctors turn and look at each other. They make this sign that, when the Spanish people are talking, they kind of turn their finger to say that people are loca. And I answered them, yes, I'm crazy for the Lord. They were so shocked, and they said they'll be back. They left the room. They never came back until the next day. While I was in the hospital, my son been doing some research. That's when we find. Is it okay to say your name?
Yeah.
That's when we find.
Say anything you want to say.
That's when we meet with Minister Enqi. I thank God for Minister Enqi each and every day of my life. I wasn't able to breathe properly at all. I wasn't able to talk at all. Sometimes the way I'm in pain, I have to take a piece of paper and a pen to tell them that I am in pain. Then at one time I tell my son Jimmy, he came in, he tried to talk to me, and I took a piece of paper. I said, it's better for me not to talk, because when I'm talking, it hurt me the most. So when I was admitted to the hospital in November, they told me I had, they saw something between my lungs, and when they have me done a biopsy, they told me I had the cancer in my lungs, and it's already touched my bones. April 2nd, I have a surgery. Before I have that surgery, so they could remove the fluid who was sitting on my chest, refused me to breathe. And the anesthesiologist said, why you watch so long? You could have lost your life. I tell him, I am a miracle baby. God is good. At the time that I came, that's when the good Lord wants me to come. But I have to tell you, still at that point, I wasn't have a chance to meet Minister Enqi yet. On April the 2nd, when I have the surgery, we're gonna have something better. I found somebody who's gonna help us out. And that's when he started telling me about Minister Enqi's daughter. He told me, Mom, this is for real. His daughter was hurt by a car, and then the doctor had told him his daughter will never walk again. After 6 weeks, he have his daughter walk on her 2 feet from the hospital. So I said, okay, son, I believe you, so I'm going to follow you. We're going to pray the good Lord, then I follow your path. And exactly that's what I did. After I left the hospital on April the 10th, my oncologist started calling me to set up the appointment. That was a Wednesday. They want to see me right on Friday. I said, I'm too tired now. I want a little break, because on that Friday, I have an appointment to speak to Minister Enqi. But I wasn't able to speak at that time. I wasn't able to breathe properly and stuff. My son did most of talking, and my daughters, because all of them been in my hospital room, all my family, my husband, even co-workers, they come to see me, but there's only one thing I tell them: God is good. My cancer is not for dying. I will be survived. The good Lord wants
You know, that's when I knew your strength, because even though you couldn't talk, you kept trying to talk.
Yes.
So
yes.
I knew your heart still had the strength to do it, because that's a big part of this. You got to have the will and the drive to be able to make all of the changes, because it's tough.
Exactly. So, as I said, when we spoke to, I have to tell you something funny. While I was on the phone with Minister Enqi, my son and my daughter, they are doing the most talking. I was eating a pasta. And then that's when I heard this say, no more pasta. I said, oh man, since I've stopped this one, then I said, no, I'm going to finish. I said, I have to finish that, because that's going to be my last one. My last pasta. That my husband has made the pasta with a shrimp for me. Man, and then I say, oh no, I'm going to finish that. And with mixed vegetable. So I finished that, and the next day, which was the Saturday, we start the medication he's telling us to get and to do some kind of smoothie. And the next day, which is Saturday, I start my smoothie. A week later, that's when I went to see my oncologist. She started telling me, oh, well, you cannot keep going to surgery and stuff like this. So now you're going to have to make an appointment to put the port so we could give you some chemo.
How much does the port cost?
To put the port only, the port itself, it costs $10,000. Yeah, that's what a breast cancer navigator has told me. She said, well, you know, you told me you're praying, but you have to decide when you have the insurance, because the port itself costs $10,000. Not includes anesthesia, the emergency, the room, and the doctors who's gonna put it and stuff. Just for the port, it's $10,000. And so I don't know how much the chemo gonna cost. But I told my doctor this, the oncologist, that have little faith in God. I'm willing to take my chance. I'm going to give the tamoxifen another chance. But guess what? I had already met with Minister Enqi.
How good did that those herbs taste that I send you to drink?
Those herbs. I have to tell you. You must really want. You must really want to live
in order to drink those herbs
and feel better. I have to tell you the truth. But you know what? After the first and second dose, it's okay with me, because I decided, I said, I have my precious granddaughter, which is right here with me, so and I have my son, my husband, my daughters, my mom, and all brothers, sisters. And then, you know what was really, really touching? The very first day, Minister Enqi told me, he said, guess what? Today gonna be our first date. I never forget that. He was so encouraging.
You gotta become vegan. Kind of muscled him into it, right? But he was cool about it. He was cool about it because, well, further down the story, you guys will see how cool he was, because after saying that, my sisters, they kind of went vegan, you know what I mean? But him and my mom, definitely vegan. So boom, they kicked it off. We get some stuff in. And man, the stuff Enqi was sending. At this point, you know, the things were coming in the bottles where they were written on with a Sharpie. But for my mom, he would literally send Ziploc bags of the herbs. And man, like, being a healer is cool, right? But sometimes them herbs, man, like I remember coming to the house and smelling my stepfather preparing it. So in regards to support, my stepfather became my mom's key support, because he was the one helping prepare everything. So he would like boil these herbs, and I'd be like, yo, what the hell y'all making? And they'd be like, oh no, this is the stuff that Enqi said. And it was like a big ass Ziploc bag. And I'm just like, yo, man, like, okay, cool. And then even from there, it's like, okay, look, your mom has to work out, but when she works out, she needs to work out. She needs to work out in the sun, right? With as much as her body exposed as possible. So from there, ultimately what happened was, not only was she working out in the sun, I was like, all right, look, mom, you're gonna have to learn how to box, right? So bought some boxing mitts, bought some training pads, and boom, she's learning how to box. Everything she was doing, my stepfather was doing too. So I really appreciate him for that, for being that support. So, and then Enqi had her on a regimen where it was like, okay, cool. Listen, we're still going to go to the doctor as usual. We're going to keep everything on schedule. We're just going to add these things in, and as you improve, that's when we'll take away the medications that the doctors are prescribing and things like that. Which to me was quite genius, because sometimes going cold turkey, you can sometimes the system isn't ready for like a factory reset, so to speak, right? So as she did that, things started getting better. So,
and that's only, I'm going to tell you something before I reach that part. The reason why I don't want to forget. While I was in the hospital, my oncology was out of town. Another co-worker have to cover for him. As soon as he get to the hospital, there's only one thing he recommend for me, for them to send me to the hospice. Because he says, since they can't really touch my bones, there's only one thing they could do for me. Give me medication to help me with the pain, and then waiting for my day to die. And then waiting for my day to die. And then waiting for my day to die. Waiting for my day to die. And then waiting for my day to die.
I said to the group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Kennysonian or Johnsonian Civil Rights Bill can do this for us.
I'm sitting, let me standing. I don't know whoever's had a chance to watch that video. This is Mina. Thanks God. Thanks to Minister Enqi. Thanks God. Thanks to Minister Enqi. Thanks to Minister Enqi. When I went back to my oncology on May the 26th, she was out of time because they're about to move. I don't know. I don't want to go to that detail anyway. So the same person who was wanting to send me to the hospice, he is the one who covered for her again. He saw me. He said, oh my God, you sound so clear. I said, praise the Lord. And then he said, do you want to see, no, he said you have to come back on June the 11th because your doctor will be there. So when I came on June the 11th, we all been in the room. We were 7 in the room. My husband, my daughters-in-law, my son, my granddaughters, and myself. And then the doctors checked me. He said, oh, you sound so good. I believe you proved me that I was wrong. I said, remember I told you, God worked miracle for me before.
And understand at this point, before taking the products, not only did she have the stage 4 breast and lung cancer, also she had lost her ability to drive, right? Her vision. So her vision was slowly deteriorating. So my mom has had a home in Miami and a home in Naples. Naples is the west side of Florida, the west side of South Florida. So she would drive from Naples to Miami over and over and over and over. But at this point with the cancer, she couldn't, right? So as she started taking these things about 4 to 6 months in, she was like, I can drive again. I'm like, what do you mean you can drive again? She's like, I can drive again. I'm going to Naples. I'm driving to Naples. I'm like, huh? So the cool part about it was like, okay, look, we got to bring Enqi down. We got to bring Enqi down. So boom, we bring Enqi down to South Florida. He does a lecture, and he centers the lecture because my stepfather's a preacher, and like my mom is like obviously heavy because my stepfather's a preacher, so obviously she's like his support in that sense. So as Enqi's coming down to do lectures, we're doing the lectures in churches, right? But Enqi showed them biblically why, like, okay, this is why these things are working, and here's it biblically in scripture, which was quite genius to me, right? So I was like, oh, okay, cool, very cool. And then everybody started to see the progress with my mom. And one thing that was important too, everybody knew she couldn't drive anymore. Everybody knew she couldn't drive anymore because, so some Sundays, like if she's in Naples, she wouldn't be able to come down because either my stepfather was tired, he couldn't drive. So usually they would switch off driving, and the drive is about an hour and a half, an hour 45, depending on how fast you're going, right? So now she's driving back and forth, and everybody was looking at her like, what are you doing driving? So when they knew Enqi was coming down, listen, Enqi was the American healer. But it was almost godlike when Enqi came down because everybody saw and knew what was happening with my mom. And then the beautiful part about it, not only did they know, they saw the deterioration and then the restoration.
All right, so here's the thing. In order to be a good teacher, you have to be a good student, meaning you have to constantly be studying whatever your craft is, to constantly be developing, to constantly have new things to share. So one of the things that I learned was that cancer and diabetes are, you cannot separate the two. In order to properly address cancer or diabetes, you kind of have to approach them, either of them. You have to kind of approach them like major and minor, right? If you're dealing with diabetes, even if the person hasn't expressed any cancer, whatever, you still have to move cautiously if you're dealing with somebody with cancer issues, because they run on the same, they run on the opposite scale of the same energy system. It all comes down to this production of ATP and insulin that you're looking at, right? So the key that you have to understand is that the insulin receptors are not actually produced on the cells or populated until, the insulin and the glucose is released, et cetera, et cetera. So high levels of insulin dictate lots and lots of insulin receptors. And if the insulin receptors, if your body doesn't have a chance to clean itself, right, after each meal, meaning after you eat, if your body doesn't have a chance to properly process and totally metabolize all of your meal, all the way down to your last little bits of glucose and insulin, you're going to have issues. And so when you have residual insulin receptors constantly building, that's like cancer cells in training, because cancer cells have I think maybe up to like, I don't know, it's crazy. Some numbers say as low as 10 times the amount of insulin receptors. Some say as high as 50 or 100 times the amount of insulin receptors cancer cells have. So understand, when you're watching and you're seeing this story and you're like, wait a minute, I thought this was a story about diabetes. Understand that a cancer cell is a cell that is behaving in such manner because it has a higher amount of insulin receptors. And all of the behavior that separates a cancer cell from a regular cell centers around insulin insulin metabolism.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Peace, peace, peace to the family out there. Listen, this is me, your holistic scientist, resident healer. And listen, I'm whispering because this is an exclusive. Never before seen look into my world.
Show me your style. Show me your signature move. Go.
Now listen, I have to let you know in advance. My world is insane. I've got 5. Okay, so for the last maybe 5 years, I've been raising 6 children alone. The people say, where the hell's my package? They don't understand I have to wrestle with these children while I make the package. In fact, they don't understand that I have to wrestle with these children while I formulate the herbs, then I encapsulate the herbs. Then after I formulate and encapsulate the herbs, I actually have to package the herbs. I have to label the bottles. I have to print the labels. I have to... They just don't understand. They don't get that I'm the guy doing the research, then writing the books, then making the artwork for the book, printing the book, editing the book, shipping off the book, designing the book. They don't get that every facet of what you guys see I have to do, plus a lot more behind the scenes. So I invite my guy, Mr. G, over to my house. I say, you know what? The people need an exclusive on my book with all the protocols and the healing and the health. So Mr. G flies out. He comes out to the house and he goes, man, after seeing this, guess what? Yeah, we kind of wasted our time. What? Huh? Yeah, this wasn't what we should be doing. Now that I'm here, I have the vision. What we actually need to do is shoot you a reality TV show. I'm like, what? A reality TV show? No, I can't let these folks in my crib. I can't let these people leave my house. I cannot let these folks up in my business like that. Mr. G said, listen, that's the only way they're going to understand you. The only way the world's going to understand you is if you let them in. You got to bring them in. And I know exactly what to do.
1, 1, 1.
Live from the D, you already know what it is. You already know who that is. You don't know who I'm the new face in the video. So you already know what it is. Real Detroit, real Detroit. Winning, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
Money and time, but that don't matter if I can't raise my babies within this paradigm shift. You remember the blocks I bled on, the hand-to-hand grind. I'm on my Sabi, you still on Neanderthal time. I'm still cool with Louis.
Sharing your message is more important sometimes than even the message itself. So I've been everywhere. I've been every city in America. I'm talking about from the documentary with Nick Cannon to On the Road with Ha Davis and just all over the place. You need to see this.
Wait a
That's
minute.
the original HIV.
These are the original HIV joints. Negative and positive.
Go zoom in too close on that.
What they said don't exist. What? What is in my tattooed hand? What? Yeah. Cut.
And I'm live right here at the Aretha for Detroit Summerfest. And we got one of our leading sponsors in the building, Dr. Enqi in the building. Listen, you looking fly. Listen, we out here on the red carpet. Now, Doctor, you have been doing some amazing things and some really great things right in the community and throughout the nation by keeping us safe and building up our immune system. Listen, why is it so important for us to be at our best selves?
The only thing you can count on is yourself.
That part. Now listen, Dr. Enqi, you have been doing some amazing things, not only just by helping the community keep their immune system up and their health together, but you're sponsoring this amazing Detroit Artist event. What made you want to give back to the community and support the artists right here in the city?
The artists and the community support us. And then of course, you know, Billion is the billion-dollar mind that put everything together. So we just wanted to help any way we could because the community give us love 365 days around the year. And then we wanted to let the youth know that it don't gotta be weird or funny to be positive in a positive space. You can still turn up, do your shit, be with the shit, you know, but still keep it positive, keep your immune system up. You can indulge, but you can still, you know, do the things to keep the balance so that way you're not having fun to your detriment. Like, we got a lot of people that have fun and then the fun turned into shortened life, you know what I'm saying? Or we lose people too early. So we just want to put some balance out there.
Now listen, you sent a shout out to my brother Billy out here. Shout out, it's Leo season. Listen, you talked about his brilliant mind. Why is it so important for black men to work together and to, you know, they always try to pin our community and our ethnicity against one another. Why is it so important to build bridges and close those gaps?
Because we all we got. Yeah. That's it. Ain't nothing else to it. Nobody gonna help us but us. So I got all my children here. They sitting out in the front enjoying the show. Chase, Kylie, Chloe, Aubrey, Caleb, they here. So if you don't see it, you won't know that it's possible. Once you see it, then you can actualize it and you see the people behind. It's very important to see what's behind the show. Because once you see who's behind the show, you go, oh, wait a minute. I know him. Wait a minute, she looked just like me. I can do this. And now you got a group of people that understands that their freedom is not tied to any illegal activity. Because we want to be free to do what we do and get our bag, but we want to be free once we get the bag. And then we want to be healthy enough to enjoy our, you know, the fruit of our labor. A lot of times we work hard chasing money. By the time we finally get some money, we can't enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I need to change my diet too. You gonna help me with that?
You already know.
Are you the stylist?
No, I'm married.
Stop!
You think he's styling the profile?
You know, with the top hat and the coat and everything, I thought maybe he was a stylist.
Crazy part about that coat is made out here.
I guess the top hat just go with the coat.
Yeah, this family put my children. I have 10 children, 4 grandchildren.
How old are you?
42.
You've been a busy man. 30 books and 10 children. You are a busy.
Well, the children, you know, you learn from your children.
Right,
They'll
so
keep
more
you
to
going.
say. Got it.
But this nutrition, we reversing diabetes, cancer. We doing the whole thing.
Love it. And what's the website? Shout it out.
Enqi'sDetox.com.
Get them herbs, man.
What's the book you wrote?
Actually, this is a book that I wrote, translating some of the hieroglyphs.
Oh, so you got look, you do Dr. Sebi out here. Y'all got him. You Dr. Sebi. Yeah, actually, he got some stuff. You studied Dr. Sebi. I know. I can tell.
Yeah, with the family. I wrote this hardcover textbook. I wrote this textbook. Yeah. So I wrote this for real.
Where you write textbooks at?
Where you from?
Write textbooks. Well, I'm from the Bronx, but I live in the D now, of course, with the, you know, it's Detroit.
You went from the Bronx to Detroit.
Bronx to Detroit, 158.
Let's get for this company. We've been riding.
And he's been making you healthier.
I'm telling you, he got some shit over there.
You got something about autoimmune disease?
Yeah, of course.
Anxiety?
Yeah.
So you just have
everything.
So you wrote all.
Nothing stays the same. It's getting kind of strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. Say nothing stays the same, man. It's seeming kind of strange. It's got you feeling crazy.
All right, y'all ready? Let's get it. 1, 2, 3. This finna be a breeze. I can't be working for free. I'm trying to get hard. I'm getting you to Enqi'sDetox.com. You lit. Hey, I'm trying to get up in for my girl tonight. What? I'm puzzled. You need the detox because you probably taste like sauce. You don't need to be tasting that. What the f is you on? Oh, you dirty. She need broke detox. I don't got nothing to give a f. I'm trying to get hard. What's wrong with you? Wait a minute.
My name is, no, it's not.
No, I'm the sponsor of the tour, so I'm the guy that brought you ha-ha. Alright? So really quick, my name is Dr. Enqi. The website is Enqi.
Like there's a black man with gold teeth. Wow. That's all they did. That's all they got to say.
Wait, they're gonna say, and they're on the top and the bottom.
There's a black man with 2 sets of gold teeth with a lot of Gucci on. We need to investigate.
Stop him now.
I think it's 3 chains.
Jazz, you on my side.
Now call the police. I don't know them guys.
Come on, what are you doing over there, bro? Man.
Off the shipping. Yikes.
Ladies and gentlemen, just one more reminder, lots of texting.
I got it.
All that going on out there. You can switch over to
I thought I had something.
Susan, we're thankful for all the experiences that are together throughout the year.
Did you see Envy anywhere around? I was looking for Envy.
Customs and traditions.
Hey.
Come on, yo, answer your phone, man. Come on, answer your phone, man.
Hey, I can't answer my.
So from our team of 80,000 plus women and men in the and helping holiday season,
Yo, it's crazy. New York to Detroit, man. This thing we building of ours. Unstoppable. I kept barely. I could barely.
Reality is nobody want to work. Everybody want to ask favors. Reality is beyond me. Like Ha Davis, see. I clean souls like a hot song. ENQISDETOX.com. My herbs operate.
Ways where like we just out here existing. Y'all, now Enqi was around at a time to where we didn't know who we wanted to be. Like we was just drunk going through the motions.
Right.
Now we know exactly who we are and who we don't be at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, that makes me feel good and smile.
I can't say exactly everything that happened on camera, but you was around.
Yeah, I was. Bro, I got a lot of footage too.
I'm sure you can do. You was always bored. We was outside, goddamn. Way outside. We was outside. Deep outside. Yeah, he brought back a lot of memories, man. Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Hey,
I got
as keep white as they gonna ever get.
Yeah.
You look healthy, man. You look healthy. Oh shit. See that video one time, 'cause I want to make time.
So yeah. You got your phone? Show them one more time.
Oh. Blue Magic, Red Dog.
Blue Magic, Red Dog.
Yo.
It is what it is, and it do what it did, and it was what it was.
How old are you, OJ? How old are you?
12.
It's been 3 years.
Scared, bro.
You met him when he was 9.
Yeah.
Maybe 8. It might be 8. Turning 9.
Yep, turning
Bro, you
9.
know my daughter is about to turn 8 in November.
Yeah.
You know I have another daughter that's 7 months right now. Lose my
crazy.
Sorry for the curse word. You ready? Hey? Alright, we locked in. You in, big homie? Shut this door. Are you good? Well, tell them.
Hey. Let's close that door, Enqi.
Yeah, just close the door. They cool. Hey. Yeah, there you go. Just close that door. They fine. All right, here we go. And 5. Okay, we understand that there's people walking around. That camera. You ready?
Yeah, it's dark. It's too dark.
Let's look at the brightness over there.
Let me know. Is it?
Oh, nah, here you go. It's good.
It's decent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. On 3. 3, 2, action.
Baby, you a little bad one, baby. Go grab me a little drink. Come on back. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Y'all get out! Everybody get out! Everybody get the out! Everybody get out!
I need to talk to you about the branding. Okay? Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Couple more. God damn. We might have to keep some of that. No, just my hat was forward.
Let me see
it.
I think we should want to cut it though.
Yeah, see, my hat looks stupid.
No, just keep it turned back.
Yeah.
But the same flow. Keep it in one flow.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember what you're doing. When you get over there, you jumping into everybody's happy. Go in that first. Everybody's happy. Woo, 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 woo. I'm trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, why you want to take this to make this that. Feel me? All right. Ready? Yeah. All right, here we go. On 3. 3, 2, action.
Baby, I wasn't already married. I'll get you pregnant. Hey, go grab me a drink or something.
Money first. Listen, everybody's happy.
Everybody get out! Everybody get out! Everybody out!
Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Nobody's fucking up the brand.
Mm-hmm.
This is blue magic.
Right.
When you step on it and you sell this and you telling people that this is CMOS gel,
yeah.
Dr. Sabi approved,
yeah.
you fucking up the brand.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's copyright infringement. This is the Chondrus crispus, the only one in North America. When you present people this is copyright infringement. This is hair grease.
God, Enqi! The words you use, I don't like the words you use. They're disrespectful. Like the words you use got the name chop your head with, like it's disrespectful. I just call it red sea moss. How about that red sea moss? Y'all want red sea moss? Come get y'all some red sea moss.
Listen, I don't give a fuck if you call it blue dog. Okay? As long as you don't call it blue magic. This is the Chondrus crispus fresh out the ocean. This is some
Chondrus crispy. Rice crispy, I don't know what words you're using. But I'm taking the disrespect. What was this selling?
My brother.
Yo,
wait. Get a last my brother to cut it in. Just a close up so I can say my brother one time.
Yeah. That fun.
See, that's the thing about the Bible where you notice that Jesus was always with the lower rung, quote unquote, of society. It's more just about not getting caught preaching to the choir, not getting caught teaching plant-based eaters about plant-based eating, not getting caught teaching people that work out every day about why they should work out, like speaking directly to the people that need the message. So it's one thing to be able to heal and help someone transform, but it's a whole nother thing to be able to do that with somebody like Ha Davis that has millions of followers, is a worldwide celebrity, and then he's a family-centered person. He's a family man. So these guys, like my children know these guys, and they all help me and work with me because they know what my home life looks like. They know that I've got to be the last one to go to bed every night. I got to be the first one to wake up every night. They know I got to do the homeschool and the herbs and the editing and the study and the research and the cooking and cleaning and the washing and this and that. And, so, just being able to give you guys a little bit more insight into what it looks like was important for me and even for the children. You know what I'm saying? So far we've been able to see, a very dynamic, powerful cancer transformation. We learned a lot about the relationship of cancer and diabetes. We've even learned about some very powerful medicinal herbs throughout the course of this video so far. So far, you've gotten almost like a college course, right? A crash course, right? In a different dynamic sort of way. It's one thing to read dead words from a textbook or just do a lecture, but it's another thing to really be able to see and hear and listen to the people who have applied these protocols and used them to fight 3-stage 4 cancers. To be able to go back and look your doctors in the face, 12 months, 18 months after they gave you, 3 weeks to live, just coming from where I came from, in the Bronx is, to be able to just have this influence and impact. We built a school in Detroit out of pocket, so just being able to do those things are very important.
Everyone ready?
Yes.
Yes. All right, we're gonna do 5. Open and out. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job, Kai. Good job. All right, so you're good.
Yeah.
Want a warm up? Pretty good.
Everyone did good though.
All right, y'all ready?
Yes.
3 sets of 5. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. We're gonna do another one, okay? Go. Hello, I'm Chase Millions. I'm 11 and in the 6th grade. I'm an elite calisthenics specialist.
What made you get into calisthenics?
Some videos I watch, they look really insane. They're doing insane moves with their muscles. They're so jacked and stuff, and I wanted to be like that too, so I started training.
Okay, when you say you are elite calisthenics specialist, does it mean you feel you are, or are you officially a personal trainer?
Both. I feel like I am, and I'm official.
So why do you like working out so much?
I grew up in the gym since 1 year old. I was punching the boxing bag and stuff, push-ups. I've been with my dad working out since I was 1. So it's just a part of me. It just doesn't leave.
Okay, speaking about your dad, this documentary is based on your dad's life. Can you tell me what kind of man he is?
Great man. He has a lot of things, like a lot of awards he's done. He saved a lot of lives. He's a really good dad. He treats us really well. And he treats himself really well. I like that he treats himself really well because he deserves it.
Okay. Can you tell me one of the things that one of your favorite part of the day is what you do with your dad?
Probably just spend time with him. We just do father and son things. Sometimes we play Xbox, working downstairs. We just do things together most of the day, so it's really dope.
After suffering from diabetes for about 5 years, from 2010 to 2015, trying to figure out how to heal it naturally. I remember going on, started looking on YouTube, and I ran into Dr. Sebi. And that made sense to me immediately, what he was talking about. What I know about the body, I didn't know much about the body at the time, but I knew that the body is supposed to be able to heal itself. And that given the right environment and minerals, vitamins and stuff, natural stuff, it should heal itself. So with that said, I got a package in September. A small package, I think it was like $400, $500 at the time. And I did what it said as far as taking the sea moss every day and all that. And I noticed I was taking my sugar readings every day, and it started going down. So I said, hey, good is good, more is better. So I got a bigger package the following October. And everything went well. Again, I tested out my sugar readings and it was going lower. So I said, hey, executive package, I think it was called at the time, it was the big package. I think it was $1,200 at the time. I ordered that. And by the end of a month, it was like, double digits. It was like 90, 94, 95. So that meant my sugar was going. So I thought. But then I realized, after getting over the initial excitement about the sugar going down, I realized that one of the things about having diabetes, I couldn't get it up. You know, it being, I couldn't have.
Don't let anybody take your manhood.
So, at that time, I started looking around. I was like, "Hey, I need to get back my sexual life." So I started watching others. I think it was Enqi had a video at the time. Every time Enqi opened his mouth, it was science. And science whereas I could understand it. It made sense to me. I was learning from him. First of all, the video itself made sense to me. He explained things clearly. I'm understanding what he's saying. But he's also answering the questions. So naturally that question I had about, hey, I'm kind of recovering from diabetes, but I can't get it up still. So I'm like, hey, let me try his product. At that time, I think he was calling God's Head. And sure enough, I got a bottle, and boom, it worked. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna rock with Enqi. This guy makes sense. His products work. And he's the only one out there explaining it into significant detail to where I can understand it and I can assimilate it myself and apply it to my life. So, the hell with everybody else. I'm just gonna rock with Enqi.
Where did I leave off? 2016? Yeah. On hindsight, looking at things, maybe the Godhead worked too well. Because the reality was, if I wasn't taking Godhead, my hormone cascade was so bad. If I stopped taking the Godhead, I had the same problem again. So that means deep down, I still was suffering from diabetes bad. I work in IT, and that could be very stressful. I used to work a lot of hours. So in order to reward myself for doing good work, I would eat bad. I had all the symptoms of diabetes, and I thought that I was doing better because I would get a hold of Enqi's products. I joined the God Complex course half-heartedly. I knew Enqi was a good guy, but I didn't put in the effort on my part to really change. I was eating bad, eating late, and not sleeping. So a good month for eating French fries every day, damn near every day, and pretzels. I have like 2 or 3 small pretzels a night as a reward for working hard. I had a stroke. A slight stroke. As I recall, I knew something was wrong. It was in December. I was walking home from the train, and I tripped. And I looked back, and there was nothing there to trip on. But looking back on it, it was a sign that I was losing my balance. So that happened on a Monday night. I went through the week thinking that I'd do some exercise. I had a grower at the time, and I'd get back right. So things progressively got worse. I remember I was throwing out the trash Thursday night, and I just knew something was off. So I got in bed, I couldn't sleep. And when I woke up to go use the bathroom, the left side was kind of weak. I had to like walk on the wall because I couldn't walk straight. So I was able to get myself, take a shower, get dressed, hopped in the cab. So it was Friday morning that I found myself at downstate hospital, and I'm like, hey, I think I'm having a stroke. So went to emergency, and I had to convince them several times I was having a stroke. So they finally gave me a CAT scan. They didn't show anything, didn't show up on the CAT scan. I'm like, well, I need an MRI. So I had to argue for that. I finally got the MRI, boom, stroke. It showed it was on the lower side of my right brain. So I talking to the doctors and everything. I'm telling them what's going on. They tell me I have what's called a Flatbush Trio. I have diabetes. My cholesterol wasn't high, but I had high blood pressure. And I talked about how I didn't sleep a lot. So they were saying that lack of sleep, a lot of stress was a combination that got me here. So I spent the weekend in the hospital. I was able to walk with a cane. So in fact, I called Enqi and I told them what had happened. They're gonna release me from the hospital. And I was living by myself, so I called my parents. My parents are coming up. I got out of the hospital on a Monday. My parents came up the Wednesday. They thought I said I had a stroke, so I thought they brought a shower seat, all kind of stuff, because they thought I couldn't function. I was able to walk and stuff like that. It wasn't bad. I was just a little weak in my leg and in my arm, but I could drive everything. And I went to the hospital. I went to see my primary care physician. Well, she, gave me metformin and all that stuff, prescription and all that. So I told her I'd take my medicine and stuff like that. So everything's gonna be all right. I went to see she recommended a physical therapist, and I started working with him. And in about a month, I went back to work. And that was a bad thing. I bounced back too soon from the stroke. I'll give you a little hint. Had another stroke again 3 years later. So I didn't learn my lesson. And this last stroke was a doozy. So, where did I leave off again? 2018, January 2018, had a stroke. Well, it was December of 2018. I had the stroke, and like I said, I was out for about a month. So January 2019, the beginning of February 2019, I went back to work. And this is where I'll talk about how the hormone cascade that's ruined because of the diabetes
starts to affect your mind. I'm not producing enough testosterone, so I wouldn't say I'm acting like a girl, but I'm definitely acting more effeminate than I normally would. I realized that looking back on hindsight, starting to feel better and act more myself. So I say that to say this. I just had a stroke. I recovered too quickly, so I started feeling more so invincible because, hey, I must be doing things right, because when you hear strokes, everybody's messed up. I'm here walking around, everything is fine. So I was setting myself up for a bigger stroke down the road. It took 3 years to develop because I didn't change my habits. In fact, I remember I was eating French fries again. I still had the same bad habits. I remember I live in New York, I live in Brooklyn. So there's a famous restaurant now called Greedy Kitchen. And it's fast food, but transitional food. So I met the owner there, nice lady. So it was my thing, like, okay, I nearly died, so I'm gonna only cheat once a week. I will go to Greedy Kitchen once a week. Like I said, it's coming, but I'm speaking more so about the mental aspect, how it affects your brain. I just had a stroke. Nearly, it happened too fast, so the fear of death wasn't there. When I got to the hospital, next day I called Enqi to let him know what was going on. Especially about how when I got there, my right foot started to go on me. So, one thing he made clear, to advocate for myself as much as possible. Don't take anything from them. Argue if necessary, but demand that I get better treatment than what they were giving me. And the longer I was there, the more it made sense, because actually I was in a room with 3 other people, and there's one guy, he wouldn't say anything, and hardly anybody wanted to go check on him. Nurses kind of ignored him a little bit. So what Enqi was saying made a lot of sense. So when I started losing my hand, I started complaining all the time, especially when the staff would do their rounds. A senior doctor with the interns. I would complain, and I let them know that, hey, when I got here, I had my hand, and I had my hand in my foot, and no longer I had my hand. So I complained to I can't really say I really complained, but I just made sure that he knew what I was suffering, going through. And the head of the department, he reached out to Maimonides Hospital. I was at downstate, but he reached out to Maimonides Hospital, a surgeon he knew, and he told me what was going on. That now the surgeon, he's a surgeon, so he wanted to put a stent in my head. So he actually wanted me to move to the hospital, move to Maimonides, so he could do the surgery. And going Maimonides was the best, because it's, as it turns out, it's the #1 hospital in New York as far as strokes go. And it's all around better treatment. The only thing I could say that was bad was the food, because mostly is food wasn't so hot. But I'm there, and I'm under the circumstances. I'm losing my foot in my hand, so I'm not thinking about food too much. But when he came and visited me, beautiful thing. He went. I had the menu out because it had it set up where they would come on Monday or whatever day it was, and they list the menu, what they were going to serve me. So I had it on bed sheet I had it on the table when he came. So he like, hey, well, you're vegetarian, you're vegan, but you got to eat eggs because you need cholesterol. And he said, hey, only thing I want you eating for breakfast is oatmeal. If they have fruit, blueberries. But if they have no fruit, just eat the oatmeal plain. No milk, anything like that. Just make it plain. So he said that I needed more cholesterol for the brain. So even though I'm a vegan, he said, hey, now's the time you could start eating eggs because you need it. So he tweaked my diet, and definitely when the head bigwig, the head of the department, he talked to him and made sure that he was taking care of me. And slowly but surely, I started to get better.
Diabetes is an enormous problem globally and in the United States. 420 million people in the world have diabetes. Approximately a third of the U.S. population has or is at risk for developing diabetes. The chronic complications involve almost every organ. It's the leading cause of blindness in the United States. It's the leading cause of kidney failure. It's the major contributor to heart disease. And if you add all of these things together, diabetes, either directly or indirectly, is probably the second or third most important cause of death in the United States. We need to make advances in the treatment of diabetes. This one? Yeah. Insulin is the product of normal beta cells. If you had normal beta cells, you'd never need to take insulin or drugs that made you secrete more insulin. So we're trying to simply regrow beta cells in people who have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. 2 or 3 years ago, we identified Harmine as a new class of drugs that could make beta cells regenerate at low levels. In this study, we identified a second class of drugs called TGF-beta superfamily inhibitors that's able to induce human beta cells to replicate at rapid rates when given in combination with Harmine. And in terms of the actual rates of replication, adult human beta cells replicate at a rate of about 0.2% per day. That's pretty much the same as nothing. With Harmine, we were able to get that up to about 2% per day. And now with a combination of Harmine plus TGF-beta superfamily inhibitors, we can get that rate up to around 5 to 8% per day. And in some of the pancreatic beta cell preparations we got, it was as high as 15 or 18%. The importance of the study is that it applies to everybody with diabetes, all 30 million people in the United States, whether it's type 1 or type 2, and all 420 million people in the world. 2.5 years ago, we had this many drugs that could make human beta cells regenerate. Now we have actually about 5 or 6 different combinations of drugs that can make human beta cells regenerate at rapid rates. So just in 3 years, we've gone from 0 to 5 to 8%. I would say that over the next few years, this will be translatable to human beings.
Peace to the family. I hope everybody's day is going well. I just wanted to give y'all a little tutorial real quick. We're gonna be doing what's known as the bitter bop, right? We take our bitters and we get this in with our morning light, and it's gonna obliterate visceral fat, just fat in general. It's a great way to kickstart that metabolism. So I just want to give y'all the basic moves. We here, right? We here with it. Now, these are going to be standing flutter kicks that are going to be essential to the move, right? So you're going to kick your leg out and alternate with each leg. Already, I'm feeling it in my abdominal. Just me picking my leg up and holding it out, right? We're working our quads, we're working our abdomens. That's just the first part of the exercise, right? Now, we also have our pecs right here, right? In our chest. We're gonna start feeling that burn as well. The movement is gonna be a crisscross movement, right? Every time going over and under. This is gonna burn the pectorals. This is gonna burn the deltoids, right? That's gonna burn them right here. Just doing this by itself. Now, when you add the movement, we get Now kick, 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 kick. Don't stop. Don't stop. Yeah. Ha. 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 Now, this is a 60-second burner. It's called the bitter bop. It's gonna burn your whole core, your whole bottom half, and it's gonna stimulate you, baby. Let's go.
This is what blue magic means to me. Blue magic is the ability as a single father to get up with his 5 children and have them ready, and not ready in terms of like bags packed or whatever the case may be, or I should say not limited to just having their bag packs and electronics charged and things like that ready early in the morning to catch red-eye flights and stuff like that, to go across the country to find herbs and mosses and algae. But it's also these are young entrepreneurial experiences. These are young healer, young doctor, young pharmaceutical, young. They don't take it for granted either. They're always excited to get new experiences, see new places, meet new people. They ask a lot of questions. They're very inquisitive. Oddly enough, the youngest ones have the most scientific minds. Not to slight in the least the older 3. But the youngest 2, they're just really inquisitive about everything. But yeah, so this is what blue magic means. It's an opportunity to change the world. It's an opportunity to heal the world. It's an opportunity to heal our communities. It's an opportunity to create many opportunities. How about that? Blue magic Blue magic is it's the future. It's the future in terms of financial instruments, economics, holistic healing, naturopathic healing, medical. It's our past. It's being able to tap into nature's reservoir. Right now, that right there is dead bladderwracks. Now, a lot of people that's buying sea moss and things like that online, you don't know that most times that's what you're buying. Dead bladderwracks. Or other sea mosses. Sometimes you're not even getting bladderwracks when you think you're getting bladderwracks. Okay, now here is the bladderwracks actually still living and breathing attached to the rock. So you actually have to snatch it off the rock by the root. Now, I wasn't trying to get my pants in my... I wasn't trying to get my pants, my outfit, because my sneakers and my pants, Anyway. A very, very interesting fact of note, especially for those of us that know who Dr. Sebi was or follow his information. Many people were confused about the sea moss in terms of what sea moss is what and blah, blah, blah. If you need a reference point, this is it. None better while I'm at the ocean right here with a limitless pool of actual growing bladderwrack. Chondrus crispus grows where bladderwrack grows. I want y'all to make this note in your mind so you understand this. If you were ever confused about what is the actual sea moss Dr. Sebi was talking about, Chondrus crispus and bladderwrack go together. They grow together. So he put them in a compound formulated, powderized together. That's how you know that the Chondrus crispus that grows in the cold waters is the one that Dr. Sebi was talking about. If you need a reference point, the bladderwrack, and neither one of those grows in the Caribbean. Those are cold water mosses. They don't grow in Peru, they don't grow in the Caribbean, they don't grow anywhere that is warm water. They grow in the cold water. Bladderwrack and Chondrus crispus. That we have used as a family to formulate and give you guys the blue magic. Now this here, let me show you. This here is actually a place where a lot of your larger sea moss companies are selling you sea moss from. This right here is the side of the road. This has this has dog poop on it and urine on it. And it's on the side of the road in different places in large masses. People pop out in garbage bags and just scoop this up and just sell. I'm telling you guys this because I want you guys to be aware that if you don't understand you don't know what's going on with your moss or your algae that you're buying, you really have no idea what you're doing. And because the name is ambiguous, sea moss, it's not even sea moss, it's actually algae. Sea moss is not even a moss, it's an algae. Look around with the camera, look.
It's just the side of the ocean. People out here, they walk their dog out here. You see the animals out here. This is not where you want to get your sea moss at. Okay? This is not where you want to get your sea moss at. There's a wide variety out here, though.
You see the little black days on there? They look like dirt. Those are baby oysters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's all baby oysters. Yeah, got loads of oysters. So you know the water quality is on point every time. All of this black stuff that look like dirt, that's oysters. It's not no dirt. That's all oysters. Look. Oh, I gotta get those.
The many pigments in these algae we call sea moss have very serious nutritional and medicinal potential. The basis of chemistry itself is that different elements and atoms behave differently depending on who they are accompanied with or in the presence of, i.e., sugar. Take sugar for example. Sugar in highly processed foods versus sugar in its natural state. These pigments in each algae are key components of life. The key components of life that allowed life to become more complex. This is the sensory stuff, the memory stuff, the interpret the light stuff. These very algae even create new atmosphere for the planet every day. What we need is a worldwide algae initiative that goes even beyond our daily dieting, what we're eating, all the way into rebuilding. Our sea moss gel starts with Chondrus crispus, a small little sprig of bladderwrack, good quality natural water, 27 different hand-picked herbs of Dr. Sebi's, Mama Tonics, lichen for vitamin D. However, what we focus on delivering are the intact pigments from the algae so that you can maximize your potential, maximize your family's potential. Melanin diabetes research is very interested in the relationship between medical doctors, surgical doctors, pharmaceutical doctors, pharmaceutical scientists, and naturopathic, holistic herbalists, very, very interested in a new bipartisan, if you will, sort of approach. My opinion from my experience says that we should all begin post-pandemic, post-pandemic, to reach across the aisle and begin working with who you may have considered yesterday as your competition. See, this is bigger than just business. This is not about making money. This is about family. This is about family. This is about legacy. This is about epigenetics. This is about knowing how many people's hands were on my sea moss before I put it into my mouth, before I put it onto my plate, the plates of the mouths of my children. This is about knowing how I can live, how me and my family, how you and your family, how we can all come together and live in tune with nature, in sync with nature, be healed by nature, without damaging, without taking, without hurting the planet that we rely on for sustenance in life. Blue magic is about healing the metabolisms of people the world over. Blue magic is about ADD, ADHD, making sure that our children have stronger minds and stronger brains than their parents did. Right? This is about empowering the next generation. So, how do you feel now that you've been out there catching a lot of sea mosses and everything? Oh, you feel great. That you were scary earlier. Now you're feeling great, huh? Is it fun? Oh my goodness. It's my passion. If you ever see me If you ever see me and I look crazy, it's just my passion. I never thought in my wildest dreams from 158th Street in the Bronx, with my mom being who she is and my father being who he is, that I would be able to influence healing and impact healing and create a revolution all the way around the world and earn the nickname American Healer. All right, so it is, hold on, it's 6:30. I still haven't fully set up wow, this is coming out of the bottom. So I still haven't really got everything set up. The drones, the cameras for the shots. But we did get a lot of good, like on the spot footage done. The trip was, I want to say the mechanics of the trip was a breeze. I know for a fact God wants us to be here. I know the ancestors are smiling because all of the little intangibles like just super worked out. Even to the point where some things worked in our favor that I can't even put on camera. How did you guys feel about, how did you guys feel about going to all those places today and seeing the different oceans and lakes and rivers where the Batarang,
It was so cool.
you do know that nobody could see you guys. You could jump on daddy's bed. Hold on, oh, not with my stuff, electronics. When I didn't even say all of it, I was really just talking to Kylie. Possibly Aubrey, but definitely not Chloe and Caleb. Y'all are not jumping on my bed.
Y'all look like goofy.
Y'all could go jump on y'all own bed. But anyway, no, but tell people, how did you like the...
It was so
Wait. Okay, Chloe, go ahead.
It was so cool. There were sea moss everywhere, and there were such big rocks, and we saw some deer on one of the big rocks. It was cool, and I got lots of things with Kylie and Chloe.
What? Oh, you put these here.
Yeah.
Okay. Turn that off because the sound quality is not good. Gentlemen, you didn't have an adventure today? How was the flights?
Flights was a breeze. It was good. It was so good. It was like this.
How did you enjoy the flight, sir?
I read my book for like 20 minutes.
Oh, it was good?
Yeah.
Really? AirPods Pro down the drain. This guy traded his AirPod Pro headset. Yeah, the new ones. And we'll just leave it at these hash browns. The hash browns was like 99 cents. These hash browns are really interesting. I'm gonna get these hash browns and this Roblox. My guy was so deep into hash browns and Roblox that he literally left a brand new pair of AirPod 2. You know, the new, he left them just, This Roblox and hash browns? What? Is that about right? Roblox and hash browns? Look at his face. Okay. My bad. Clearly that was a dad moment, and there must not have been any room to have a dad moment. Okay? I guess he's hurting more than I am. I'm rubbing it in. Maybe I'm, probably doing the most. Now we're we can see you back there still. Just in case you thought you didn't notice that you wouldn't. Yeah, we see you. Why the philosopher's tone? I have always been too smart for the tough guys and too tough for the smart guys. Point being, I have never fully belonged. So it made me strong. It made me who I am, strong enough to blaze new paths. And one of those paths started with horizontal gene transfer. Horizontal gene transfer is basically the science of how all living organisms in an ecosystem share genetic material. I spent a long time questing, not just questioning, so I have a really well-rounded way of critically thinking. And at that time, I was really interested in the religious concept of immortality. And I know you're thinking like, this doesn't have anything to do with diabetes, but just pump your brakes for a second, it's coming. I was real interested in the religious concept of immortality because it detailed, especially in some places like the Bible and in Kemet, but it detailed the two most important blessings or gifts that you got from God. And one was the ability to speak to the dead, and the other was getting to live forever. So whether it was Jesus or Cyrus or this one or Quetzalcoatl or this, all of those things held my interest at some point. And, I just kept earnestly looking for those things in the real world of fact, though, in science. And my research just led me to horizontal gene transfer. And I know you're saying to yourself, like, that's not exactly talking to the dead. And I would offer that talking is a conversation. It's just an exchange of information. Any way that you are able to exchange information is a conversation. So when I started to dig into that space and open that rabbit hole gave me some interesting answers. I'm like, yeah, we are actually talking to the dead every day. And to fully understand horizontal gene transfer is to understand your immortality. The key minerals we require, that we recycle, that we eat every day, they've been eaten 1 million, billion, trillion times already by other organisms and reshared back to the planet for the rest of us. The concept of heaven, the field of reeds. The field of reeds, when I heard that, I said, wait a minute, reeds is algae. So we got an ancient concept of heaven associated with algae? Like, these are things that propelled me into phycology, propelled my study. And now we here. We officially have the keys to being fruitful. Ma, this is your son. I have an answer to your statement that you... I used to have that little, she tell me to do something, I had that little, you do that, let that breathe. Yeah, boy, you got to do 3 things. One is whatever I say, but that's temporary because you ain't got to do that after you're grown. But after that, you're going to have to stay black and die. It's 2 things that you're going to have to stay black. So, Michael Jackson proved you don't have to stay black. And Dr. Enqi, your minister, the American healer, I'm gonna prove you don't have to.
We're about to get into this hormesis training. We're about to get into these isometrics, these weights, these calisthenics. This that American healer. This that PK fit.
Yo, A.A. Rashid is with Griselda. Oh, it's that time to start robbing now. If I jack for life for them cars, you know how he go. He stunting rentals. I might get knocked by the repo. Plus he snitching. That's new cars and probation. I'ma have to rob Sinetta old for them YouTube donations. Once I start robbing, you gon' see the my rich. He gon' try to hide behind Cambada and Professor Griff. For real. Add more to the pot. It's how you spoil thieves. I'm taking Cam CD money and so lay royalties. Rich gon' try to call the pills over this pistol. But that's only gonna get the rob fall like crystals. Rich gon' call Supernova next, but I can handle the ball. I wait for him to go OT and sneak rob his store. I ain't tussling with that. He got a couple screws loose. For real. King Simon is a puppy. He the conscious blues clues. Nah, he a big dog and the elder, so I'm sorry, bro. But you and Lloyd laying down for that numerology, though. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Get different when the rabbit got the gun. This ain't serious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Get different when the rabbit got the gun. Mama Bill gon' call me on the phone like Enqi, what's up? Rush her off the phone and send her. I'm over 19 and men don't think I'm funny. I'm tying Muslim up for that bean pie money. We kidnapping Wesley for ransom like a movie. He got it. Farrakhan, they say keep him. We got Nuri Muhammad. Billy Carson, brand new. Building his bag, but I'm a pistol whip that. He be stealing my swag. If you waiting for me to rob Unc and Chief, you don't know streets. It's way too much heat trying to rob the police. Now when I catch Jabari slipping, you gon' think I'm tripping. I'm giving my Israelites the description. Get everything Egyptian. Robbing Curtis course easy. He's still on Cosby Pudding. I'm robbing Black Dot for IP and antique video footage. We kicking in Garfield door looking for finance profit. But we ain't find nothing but 2 butter programs in his closet. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Get different when the rabbit got the gun. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Get different when the rabbit got the gun. I'm thinking Professor Smalls get it too. His pocket's large enough, but that wow. He wound up robbing us. To get back on my feet, I called Jack Hassan Luxury V. I robbed Jack Frost and Queens Flip with they interviewee. Jack Frost said, yo, we family. How you get me? You know I be. I ain't one flip to think you was with me. We got pulled over, somebody snitching. From my perspective, I did a double take. Oh, Bro Sanchez, the detective. We had to bail out. I couldn't believe that was crazy. So we caught Shaka for 10K and extensions and weed kits. I saw St. Cove on 25th with Smack Lux and more. I robbed the Artie family half the loot. Reggie was crying when he saw the iron like, hey yo, chill. I caught 20 pounds of DMT from Gano Grills. I tried to rob Cyrus suit and said he pointing the gun barrel. But he ain't have nothing in his crib but pictures of young Pharaoh. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Get different when the rabbit got the gun. This ain't serious. Being conscious can make you delirious. So we live and have fun, but I'm just saying, son. Get different when the rabbit got the gun. I can't do a thing but floss. Uncle Irvin used to cut niggas' fingers off. He used to bring us fingers and ears in the eyeglass case, talking about mad bass and full scale from my last eight. My father Butch was a kingpin, named Brenz. I had him raised as a god, 120 electrons in the atom, snatching lead patches, smacking alternative niggas, whatever's politically correct. I'm learning, nigga. My day ones was all trained to point lead like a sharpener. My father
was a mason, his father was a carpenter. My iridology reveals a dichotomy. Gangster or prophet, my psyche is psychology on top of beatboxes. A mill off detoxes, vegan, the shoes gated, the coat, 3 foxes. It's all contradictory, you can't do shit to me. I died already, every breath is a gift to me.
Don't blame me, don't blame me now. You can't blame me, already it's the way the world made me. Don't blame me, don't blame me now. You can't blame me, it's the way the world made me. It must be so, cause baby, you never ever got to know me, to help me out with my problems. In this world's asylum, society's so conniving. In these streets where I'm from, you gotta pay me. It's the way the world made me.
The muscle game gone, it's brains overbrawn, fake jury everywhere, street credit overdrawn. Is Alexander Bradley and Tekashi just rats or agents of change? In the street culture for blacks, is that role working? You need soul searching, the whole burden got them looking for a new face like an old person. I'm the same nigga today that I always been. The nigga with the biggest dick in the room, I'm always him. Stereotypes is nonsense, nigga. Fuck you mean? I don't look exactly like a conscious nigga. When I tell you I get money off the books, I'm an author. I get money off the books. Face it, lame. Train your brain to make it rain like Drake and Wayne. Record magic like David Blaine. I always bet on me and make that money dance. I'm still selling herbs, nigga. I just switched to other plants.
So serious. Don't blame me. Don't blame me now. You can't blame me. Let's go. It's the way the world made me. Yeah. Don't blame me. Don't blame me now. You can't blame me. It's the way the world made me. It must be so, cause baby, you never ever got to know me, to help me out with my problems. In this world's asylum, society's so conniving. In these streets where I'm from, you got a baby. It's the way the world made me. Yeah, yeah, don't blame me. Don't blame me now. You can't blame me. It's the way the world made me. Don't blame me. Don't blame me now. Yeah. You can't blame me. You can't blame me. It's the way the world made me. It must be so, cause baby, you never ever got to know me, to help me out with my problems. In this world's asylum, society's so conniving. In these streets where I'm from, you gotta pay me. It's the way the world made me.
Let's go, Lock. Me and Keen don't talk, he mad over his bids. But me and Keen so cracking guns when we was kids. The piece with the magnetic to set it. My family used to run Harlem. It's epigenetic. I had 3 crack spots by 12, like let me work. Plus I like girls in chesty shirts like Hefty Smurf. So listen, when my friends was getting shot, going to prison. At 13 I was a father, my position got different, you see. I taught these little niggas how to G. I learned it wasn't the white man killing niggas, it was me. My image, my likeness, my shine, the brightest. Leading my soldiers to they death like Leonidas on the block. Fiending for fiends to cop you the joker. More than fiends fiend for the rock, worse than the smoker. I had a Lexus, adopted Anna, then had Tony. Then God arranged for us to meet Icto, asked Stoli. He said, listen, I know you was bred to love crime, but you come from an O-negative bloodline. I understand your stance, so I'ma give you one more chance. But you gotta change your life and heal the world with plans.
They say nothing stays the same as it's getting kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. Say nothing stays the same as it's seeming kinda strange. It's got got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing.
Some fam is talking suicide, others operations and more medicine to survive. If I collude the sky for dreams, the truth would hide your schemes to crucify my kings and euphanize my queens. We struggle daily against ops, we don't even see them saying health is wealth. I reminiscing at a mausoleum ain't even a move, God. We do this too off, spinning in place like this was foosball. We ain't moving forward, wait, nah. Some of us is doing that, some of us align our spiritual up with the truest black. Some will stay 100 through the dark and have your truest back. Even in a skirmish with your brother, some will move, attack, respect, fam. After that, you should respect man. The price of life has gotten deeper than some canned spam. The net of rule is an expression of the science as above, so below. Change your life when you apply that.
This ain't nothing stays the same as. It's getting kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. Say nothing stays the same as. It's seeming kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. This ain't nothing stays the same as. It's getting kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. Say nothing stays the same as. It's seeming kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing.
Y'all people don't think y'all are amazing and special.
When something happens,
If you understood how amazing and special y'all was, then y'all would understand how every moment got a capture.
Faith and love, and faith, believe, faith and love, and faith, faith and love, and faith. Play this song, we got babies to make. Hey, the babies got millions to make. Let's get it. Don't forget it, got too much at stake. Play this song, we got love to make. Dollars on us, we got babies to make. You always complain about money and time, but that don't matter if I can't raise my babies within this paradigm shift. You remember the blocks I bled on, the hand-to-hand grind. I'm on my Sabi, you still on Neanderthal time. I'm still cool with Louis and Gucci. I know what to do to spoil you. Your glamorized mind won't be wrapped in aluminum for you, but loyal is a must. All we got is trust. Conscious really mean you aware. All we got is us. Reflection. All I'm asking you to do is listen. Protection. Except when me and you creating friction. You throwing everything back in my face that I spoke with you. Instead of recognizing that's how a king share his soul with you. Enqi.
What's faith without love? Love without faith. Love without love. What's faith without love? Love without faith. Love without love.
You gon' go through that. That's how that's going. That's how that's going down. When we up. What happened when we up don't determine who we are. It's what happened when we down, when we come. Baby, the paradigm is full-time fathers in drop squad kitchens. We don't sell drugs. We export physics, meaning we pimp our genetics, but not with calisthenics. We own our image and likeness. We selling our presence. Now is a gift that we spend in shopping, bending optics, monetizing trending topics. The tag is vital, Beyonce half a title. Math is vital, your past is idle, the bag is viral. The swag is viral, contagious is an understatement. Your faith to have a nigga bigger than entertainment. I just wanna tuck you away so you don't have to grind no more. With the mind of a genius and a dick like a dinosaur.
What's faith without love? Love without faith. Love without love. What's faith without love? Love without faith. Love without love. Love without us. Love without us. Love without us. Love without us.
Faith and love, and faith, believe, faith and love, and
Let's go. Huh? When I say I do it for the culture, I'm that nigga. No bids. On the run eating. Raising your kids. Raising mine too to shine through the bullshit that blind you. Your wife be a dime too. You better pay her attention before I do. I'm just saying. While you in the studio trying to be a street boss, I might pull up on your lady with some books and some CMOS. Give her some dictation. She unmastered. Ain't no levels yet. And I'm a great teacher. She gonna take notes like a treble clef. I give street niggas some conscious niggas some street. That teach them all how to eat. All on one beat. Get it? They working in unity now. The God of entendres, there's nothing they could do with me now. The God that y'all sponsored to rep the community now. We got chemistry fluidly now. It's cool to be cool with me now. You a new jack, my blade sharp, I wield it greatly. How is Johnny come lately qualified to rate me or hate me? In attempts to debate me, disrespect won't persuade me. When they come to this, I'm Jay-Z, data transmission, Bill Gatesy. Ain't no tricks, you still lazy. I'm up before the roosters. Calming down shooters, rolling Buddhas with boosters. I'm with social media comedians, doing media. I'm like Eddie Murphy Raw, preaching the encyclopedia. This gon' hit like the media. Architect laid the blueprint. It's nothing you could do, pimp. I'm posted like the newsprint. Read it and weep. You was fleecing the sheep. I'm the goat that eat wolves. You nutrition in me. My electromagnetic signature is brilliant to see. Sound becoming light as religion in me. A vision to see. Ain't no poor righteous teacher shit. We get money quick as the street. Fuck you think is going on, boy? My kids gotta eat. We was flipping thoughts when you didn't know nothing. Way before tax set the tone with Joe Budden. I was the first nigga on HOK with 100 plus. 1,000, my nigga. It's nothing to discuss. You fuck with police, you won't get another chance to jerk me. I've been bubbling for a viral breakthrough like herpes. Yeah, past the corona, School of Hard Knocks diploma. We don't see eye to eye. You a worker, I'm a owner. You a house nigga. I'm not even in the field, I'm free. You have no idea how it feels to be me. I get paid to think. You can't tell me nothing, partner. Information change. Your Bitcoin is my big dollar. Your whole platform look like niggas going wild. Dodging bars like niggas blowing trial.
Artificial intelligence. Is that your real icon? It's giving me a python. I think you need to see him. Eggplant to your DM.
So I'ma put it on you in the worst way. That DHA got that melanin shaking. I call my spear for that shake the Francis Bacon. Listen, even if it's silicone or belly fat, I got a vegan substitute for that biscuit with a jelly at. I'm looking forward to drinking your juices. This Wi-Fi feels so exclusive.
Is that your real icon? It's giving me a python. I think you need to see him. Eggplant to your DM.
You remind me of my sex doll. I'ma have to confess, y'all. It's true. My sex doll is perfect. She know just how to work it. Only static blow a circuit. I'll never have to jerk it. Custom design is plastic surgery. For a soulmate, the price was burglary. Slide and step, 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 slide and step. Come on, slide and step, slide and step, slide and step, slide and step. Come on, slide and step, slide and step, slide and step, slide and step. Come on.
Is that your real icon? It's giving me a python.
sentence. See, you rocking with right now, possession is 9/10 of the law. So you got it. But your opening sentence was, the brother, boom bam boom bam bam boom bam bam boom bam boom bam bam boom bam bam, brought this bag of food to you. Boom bam boom bam bam boom bam bam. Give me the bag. No, cannot have the bag. These are delicious, and I don't get them off. Wait, what is happening right now? In my mind, I'm like, this is taking a nasty turn this summer. Food for me somehow became, I don't get these often. Like, wait, there's this language barrier preventing us from communicating effectively right now, Rob. See, my brother said bag for me, and somehow you have Suge Knighted the bag, and now are offering me the opportunity to share. Listen, I'll share some of this with you. Share some with you. I just want to have your whole bag now. I remember the story completely different. Trust me, I'm sharing some minor details. I actually said, yo, there's something, and he grabbed, and I didn't even finish rapping. That's right, devilish looking. I'm like, yo, hold up, let me finish what I gotta say first. So, that's how it went. You know what I'm saying? Some of those things may be true. That's that haven't eaten all day because you've been on the plane with $13 bags of pretzels. Like, I'll wait till we get to the kids' bar. And the children like, Dad, we want to eat. I'm gonna wait till we get to the oh my God. Then I get to the juice bar after waiting yesterday. And what do I have? A lovely patron. Hell of a brother. And coming from across the country with children and everything, they're trying to get something to eat.
Honestly, most of
Oh my God. Dr. Enqi, you don't need to eat anyway. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, sir. Hope to see you tomorrow. Yeah, so you got all 20 Minos in that.
Hello, non-believers out there. This is Sunday school. I am the minister. FBP.
We come around once in a blue moon just to show you that we love you and we'll never leave, 'cause we are anointed. We're the same way every day, 'cause we're angels, some mighty and some meek, and we're sent down from the heavens to achieve a destiny. Yes, we're angels, and we seek our own reproof, and we represent the same God who sent his only son for you. Yes, we're angels.
City to city, promise the same progression. Be certified, they know my name. Drowning in debt, coming up with the bins in a situation where the means justify the ends. What's the best tool to build? Could it be drugs? Could it be?
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mayor Vicky McKenzie, and we're here today at the Paramount Theater, and we're kicking off the Peekskill Health Initiative. Councilman Scott, one of his endeavors is to bring health to Peekskill for our students, our residents, our seniors, and everyone in Peekskill. So the council has taken on the initiative as well, and we want to make sure that all of our residents are healthy. So today we're kicking off Peekskill's Health Initiative.
Another great day in Peekskill on a beautiful sunny day. We want to welcome you, as the mayor just said, and we're here on beautiful Brown Street in front of the historic Paramount Theater to begin our health initiative and get healthy Peekskill. That's what we're aiming to do here. So we hope you can join us on our many events that are going to be happening for a healthy initiative. Thank you. Councilman Fassett?
Well, we all need a little health in our lives, and Lord knows Peekskill is the place to do it. We've got lots of trails and parks and places to be healthy. With all the information you're going to bring to us, it's only going to help us do better for ourselves and for our families. So thank you for this, and with the council, we're happy to be here. Lord knows I could use a little help here, but anyway, to health.
Yes, and I just want to thank you guys again for supporting the initiative. You know, this is a historic moment for Peekskill. You know, this is the first time that I can think of that, you know, a municipality is taking the steps to not just talk it, but, you know, actually walk it when it comes to public health, you know. So, you know, I'm excited for this initiative, and I hope you guys are ready. You know, let's get Peekskill fit. Let's go. Yeah.
So folks, not only look forward to today, but look forward to other events that will be happening where we're bringing healthy opportunities, not only food-wise, exercise, trails, but really just using the resources that we have here within the city. So thank you for joining us.
We're going to cut the rest of the
That would help. All right. 1, 2, 3.
By the ends, what's the best tool to build? Could it be drugs? Could it be thugs or brotherly love? These babies gotta eat, so it really don't bother me. As long as we escape poverty, bracing for the worst, on the quest for the best. When other niggas quit, I pledge my flesh to my last breath. And I ain't never stop, I never turn back. The evil that men do can never turn black in the slums. With bums that take your life for crumbs. G stood plumb on they square and made men out of sons. Fiending to live, we scratch that itch. While you were scared to take a risk, we smack that bitch.
We're angels, some mighty and some mean, and we're sent down from the heavens to achieve a destiny. Yes, we're angels, and we seek our own reproof, and we represent the same God who sent His only Son for you. Yes, we're
Let's get this right, let's be clear. I wish they all could have been here. See me fly so high, yeah, we up there. No fear, so they say it ain't no fear. Let's get this right, let's be clear. Let's get this right, let's be clear. No fear, so they say it ain't no fear. No fear, so they say it ain't no fear.
We live with no fear, so they say it's no fear. Running on the treadmill, going nowhere, so it's not about fear. It's about necessity, the right foundation to give us longevity. I'ma keep it 100, I'm trying to get it. With everybody around me equally committed. It's not about the money, we trying to live. It's a different mind state we trying to give. If the world don't need you, the world won't feed you. So what type of legacy you leaving for the people? Show love, even if they don't reciprocate. Beyond emotion, I take the love with the hate. It's the love to teach your old goon a new tune. Don't try to grow too soon. See you next blue moon.
We're angels, some mighty and some mean, and we're sent down from the heavens to achieve a destiny. Yes, we're angels, and we seek our own reproof, and we represent the same God who sent His only Son for you. Yes, we're angels.
We getting seed money. Woo. Woo. We need seed money. That's that seed money.
money, make money, make money, make money, show love, get diamonds out the mud. Make money, show love, get diamonds out the mud. Make money, show love, get diamonds out the mud. Make money, show love, get diamonds out the mud.
The poor middle class treadmill in the rat race, and they either fast with God or to get fat pace. The cheat code delight is plants or be sloppy. Vegan include marijuana, coca, poppy. Like not just information, it's the fabric of your soul. Aromatic amino acids grant biological control, the opposite of religion. Open mind benefits. Sensimilla is marijuana, pathogenesis in the rat race. With plants, numbing pain is the goal. In the guard race, the art of plants articulate the soul. The war on drugs is a play, an act with an encore. Big pharma burn the weed like Operation Condor. The government make drug lords. Ain't that a bitch? Cause at the end of that run, the same deal make you a snitch. Once you stop converting that chlorophyll, you a slave. Private prisons filling orders still. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Can't go they will over beef. Every movement got a plan. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Money grows on trees, it's the paper and the plant. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Karma is the snitch, watch the energy you plant. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Money grow on trees, it's the paper and the plant. Listen, this wisdom come from hard time. Melanin convert melodies to hard rhymes. With perfect timing, divine designing, dropping juice, pressure turn carbon into diamond. You can just channel the light, but you can never silence it. Why you think black folks so goddamn talented? The same light that make THC, make vitamin D, make us frightened to be and exciting to see. It's in our DNA, it ain't no mystery. Free will is the bond and plant. Human chemistry, the planet control its consciousness by what is blooming. Governments control populations by what they consuming. Don't get it twisted, nigga. Money green for a reason. Currently the currency cross Christ mass fiscal season. Put on your game face, Black Friday, high tide. If you asleep, now you awake. Eyes wide. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Can't go they will over beef. Every movement got a plan. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Money grows on trees, it's the paper and the plant. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Karma is the snitch, watch the energy you plant. Seed money, get them plants to the plant. Money grows on trees, it's the paper and the plant.
We getting seed money. We need seed money. That's that seed money.
Good day. Bonjour. Buenos dias. My name is Dr. Enqi, affectionately known as the American Healer. My battles with the three ruffians, aka superstition, ignorance, and pride, has made me the most talked about naturalist since Dr. Sebi. Ironically, it was Dr. Sebi that pointed me to black health issues surrounding melanin, believe it or not. Melanin as the central focus for change in widespread health the world over, specifically regarding brown, black, and Latino people. Diabetes has two sides to it. The more popular, more discussed physical side of insulin and sugar, and then the less discussed mental side, the addiction side, the hunger side, the side that drives the behavior, the cravings, the inability to make the right choices even after being properly informed on the right choices, having the information, not being able to execute. Melanin, oddly enough, is the only central feature of both the physical aspect and the mental aspect of diabetes. So I knew I was on to something. Even our intellect or our day-to-day gets broken down, depending on who you're talking to, into the mind, which is more of a spiritual intangible, the consciousness, and then the brain, the physical, the neurons, the brain cells, the neuromelanin, the central nervous system, if you will, right? We had to, as a healer, we have to be able to actualize and really have a tangible system, especially if it's going to be something that's reproducible and then or more so duplicatable, so that way we can roll this out as a widespread protocol of healing, right? We have to go with the source, the generative principle, where these things, the fountain, the root cause of behavior, right? So now you start to cross some boundaries, right? So this is where we get to value and not value, and what's important in life, and prioritizing, right? It gets to what we pay attention to, right? What we spend our time on, right? Think about that. What we pay attention to and spend our time on. True value. The only true value in this world is people. Consciousness. Attention is an outflow of consciousness, but it has a cost. So as you pay attention, right, you're looking for your return on investment. The return on investment is what enhances your system. It's the nutrition. And when we're dealing with thought, when we're dealing with action, when we're dealing with behavior, when we're dealing with that which informs, pigment is the interface. Every hormone, every cytokine, every interleukin in the body is formed this way. All of your cells are formed this way. The cellular information highway is this way. So this basis for information is also the basis for energy, or ATP production in the body. Even your immune system via your bone marrow. Attention determines energy. Energy production, energy metabolism. And the nerve, or the neuron, the central nervous system, the neuromelanin, focuses that attention and controls that energy. Diabetes is an illness based on the breakdown of this energy metabolism and production. Melanin, the highest form of pigment in biology, is the direct biological conductor that controls that focus, that attention, that energy production. The hormone is melanin concentrating hormone. So with those clues, from Dr. Sebi saying focus in on the neuromelanin, and then my 9-year study, I was able to discover the secret and the reason why Black people have a 200% higher chance of getting diabetes and Alzheimer's, and like I said, coming back to the melanin system. And then we show people how to take that knowledge to turn that into building muscle, losing weight, reversing cancer, getting rid of tumors and strokes and diabetes and more. So we teach everything, including which herbs specifically that we use, how to harvest the Chondrus crispus, why Dr. Sebi even singled out Chondrus crispus from all the sea mosses, right? So you can join us, watch this on patreon.com/Dr. Enqi. It's free for all members. You can get the full documentary. It's going to be over 20 plus hours, right? This is just the first part, the first volume. It's over 20 hours, the complete course, right? It's a complete course, which you can get free, like I said, patreon.com, or you can grab the Blu-ray at drenqi.com, and you can find out why people with dominant genes have the shortest lifespans and how we go about fixing that. Peace. And thank you in advance. As for the talking, listen, it's gonna be a lot of folks mad when you follow your dreams. It's a lot of folks mad that I'm the first holistic healer ever to harvest Chondrus crispus. They mad about that. They mad that I demonstrate beyond a shadow of a doubt that Chondrus crispus comes from cold water regions. There is no Chondrus crispus from Peru or Tanzania or the Caribbean. It's people mad about that. It's people mad that I demonstrated beyond a shadow of a doubt that kombucha is not something that is beneficial for people's health in the way that it's been marketed. You know, it's people that's mad because I show and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that spelt is a hybrid. Spelt is a hybrid. Okay, so it's a hybrid. I don't know what you want me to do with that. Spelt is a hybrid. Okay, agave is fructose. It's poison to a diabetic. Diabetics cannot have agave. Agave is high fructose. I mean, it might as well be high fructose corn syrup. It's 90% pure fructose. It's just black people, brown people, diabetics, Latinos with fatty liver disease. Agave is just not something that is good for your health. When I bring these things to the people, it's always going to be people that gets angry with me about that and start rumors and now now bells is going off everywhere. They saying he added again. He's saying he got the herbs that could regrow the beta cells in the pancreas. They saying that he's saying he got herbs that could regrow the pancreas. Oh. Trust me, if for nothing else, if for no other reason, you want to go to patreon.com/Dr. Enqi and become a member, or go to drenqi.com and grab you a couple of copies of the Blu-ray. If for no other reason, just to see me fall flat on my face. All right? This is your opportunity.
I'm about to hit the gym, I need buzz this time. Last time it was, hold up, that's my jam. I'm about to turn this up now, I need the walls to, this the Grammy winner, nominate the $ Minister Enqi, send me some. Piano is the heart of instruments, airstring percussion, no coincidence. We hear with our mind, not with our ears. That's why here is the here. We affect our peers deeper than chakras. Phantom of the opera, the freak accident that made the gun you was loaded start popping. Your sarcophagus, your flow, hustle 3-6 mafia. The chicks singing, hook niggas like tilapia. Octave the ogdo, chakra notes. A 6% difference in frequency, folks. 6 is the magnetic hexagon carbon. Flesh is vibrating strings, IG carbon. Sabi the sergeant, old goon squad. Living behind bars, we coming for the tune guard. These 48 frequencies, holding niggas. Create the illusion of motion pictures. We gon' shake for that money, take for that money. Make no mistake, next break for the money. Bake cake for the money, take rape for the money. I'll suck your DNA for the money. Here drums the organs, here's the heartbeat. How dumb niggas come off a smart street. BX the Marcy, I'm the Marcus Garvey. In the spirit of the hieroglyphs, I'm the Sharpie. I grind cause I chose to, shine cause I'm supposed to. Redefine your mind like I'm not supposed to. Run the play, let me coach you. I'll show you how bi-coastal becomes global. Music is the blueprint, life is shaped. Atoms popping, lock, light vibrate.
Chemical reactivity is shake. Checkmate if you can't make that melanin shake. You lost in the street if you don't know those lectures. Shine and come down the photoreceptors. The theory of music is the overtone. I'm giving you the keys to hold your own. Pun intended, I wrote on Gilly's house just the alkaline slide with a big willy bounce. Big city kid, witty nerd, but he spit litty. That sound becoming light, niggas stick with me. Bouncing overtones, create beats from doubling or having frequencies. I'm the I King dream, the binary goat. Remember, money is a legal note. We gon' shake for that money, take for that money. Make no mistake, next break for the money. Bake cake for the money, take rape for the money. I'll suck your DNA for the money. Eardrums, the organs, here's the heartbeat. How dumb niggas come off a smart street. BX the Marcy, I'm the Marcus Garvey. In the spirit of the hieroglyphs, I'm the Sharpie. I grind cause I chose to, shine cause I'm supposed to. Redefine your mind like I'm not supposed to. Run the play, let me coach you. I'll show you how bi-coastal become globe. I told you, God is light is the answer. Articulated by horizontal gene transfer. Music composition seen by a conductor. What I see when I look at a protein structure. Pitch, range, dynamic, temperament. Amino acid, electromagnetic fingerprint. Sound design, out the mound with mine. Sumerians didn't wear Calvin Klein. Chemistry is genetics, hot shot. Why where a virus goes viral, call hotspot. Stick with God when you're not sure. Trace of haplotypes, plasma secure. Asthma for war, the air's been weaponized. This revolution won't be televised, meaning this information ain't song and dance. In a song to dance or sing along with fans. We gon' shake for that money, take for that money. Make no mistake, next break for the money. Bake cake for the money, take rape for the money. I'll suck your DNA for the money. Eardrums, the organs, here's the heartbeat. How dumb niggas come off a smart street. BX the Marcy, I'm the Marcus Garvey. In the spirit of the hieroglyphs, I'm the Sharpie. I grind cause I chose to, shine cause I'm supposed to. Redefine your mind like I'm not supposed to. Run the play, let me coach you. I'll show you how bi-coastal become globe. If you smoke or eat like Sabi, if you think like Dr. Africa, if you fight like Baba Kalindi, if you spiritual like Credo, if you love like Mama Kosua, if you got questions like Delbert, if you heal like Dr. Kiefer, if you teach like Francis Crest, if you speak like Dick Gregory, if you feel that electricity, if you smell that victory, this that they can't get with me, I'm about to make history. This that not based on your ethnicity. We not scared of excessive syllabicity. The singularity, synchronicity. My God, ain't no mystery. Shout out to the East Coast. Everybody in the Midwest. Everybody in the dirty South. On that West Coast. Out in Puerto Rico. Salisbury. Come on, Myrtle Beach. Atlanta. Boston. Chicago. New York. Hold up. The Bronx, baby. Toronto. LA. Houston. Miami. Let's go, Charlotte. Come on, Dallas. Philly. Seattle. Detroit. Wait a minute. Motown. Indy. Nashville. New Orleans. Toronto. Baltimore. Jersey. Canada. Jamaica. Haiti. Mexico. Everybody from everywhere, goddammit. Hold up, man. We're about to go into genius level bars right now. Just cause I can. Right? When the money in the air and the dice is skipping, I'm Kobe in the fourth, no slight to Pippen. When the dice stop skipping, it's 3 6s. You live in remixes, your life prefixes. The flow, the call is the protocol. How else would a smart nigga know the ball? My words are the plane, you're the pilot. Cornerverse, car and equal coronavirus. I came here to reunite us. Ancient warrior shit, Leonidas. Talking greasy like I'm eating chicken. Actually, I'm getting chicken. I got your OG under my wing like rice. That's a plain Jane bar, you so obnoxious. The perspective of the bar depend on who watches. Get it? Say it back and think of new watches. Inconscious, through conscious, through conscious. Blue tropics went from gold to crew optics. Then entitlement to new nonsense. Keeping up so long, you become the Johnsons. When the money in the air, when the money in the air and the dice is skipping. When the money in the air and the dice is skipping. I'm Kobe in the fourth, no slight to Pippen. Greasy like I'm eating chicken. Actually, I'm getting chicken. I got your OG under my wing like rice. That's a plain Jane bar, you so obnoxious. The perspective of the bar depend on who watches. Get it? Say it back and think of new watches. Inconscious, through conscious, through conscious. Blue tropics went from gold to crew optics. Then entitlement to new nonsense. Keeping up so long, you become the Johnsons. I meant the Joneses.
Time is money. time have you spent studying and teaching this information? You listening to me right now, you, not in a hypothetical, you. How much money have you put up? How many thousands of dollars have you put up? How many millions of dollars have you put up? For the study, the research, and then the promotion, the sharing, the blasting, the campaigning of the information, the institutionalization of the information, the printing, the books, the laws, the lobbying. How much money have you put up for us to make this movement real? How long do we have to hear these stories? How much do we really care about things? The Beastie Boys, Gangsta, Guru, Drama King, Detroit, huh? LA, huh? The Bronx, huh? Man, you remember these guys? I know it's telling my age, but if you were part of a certain age group, like these guys had a moment where they were like gods. You know, they were like, you know, they really were instrumental in helping the hip hop culture go international, like just global. You know, before there was a handful of folks like Wendy Williams and, you know, there were just a handful of personalities. I would say personalities that, you know, were like the social media before it was social media. You know, that kind of, they were like glue, you know, like, so, and these guys were a part of that. So I know some of you saw these articles. And were like, somebody help him. Like, why isn't anyone, like, is anybody gonna, like, is there, and yes, there was people that were reaching out, trying to alleviate, you know, the suffering and maybe help reverse the conditions and turn some stuff around. I know, because I was a part of one of those rescue missions. And I can't speak to everybody else, but I know what happened to me. I know what happened to me, and this is not a one-time thing. This happens all the time, every day. So for me, it's important to have this conversation. This brother and I was introduced to him by a mutual friend. When I was introduced to him, he had like a underling, and we'll just call him Dr. J. You know, Dr. J was like his underling, or like his, I don't want to say it in a negative way. Like, I was like his, you know, that was like his man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was in charge of taking care of Dre, making sure, woo, woo, woo. So, I kind of had to, my communications had to run through him. And, you know, I sent them the whole protocol. Like, this is the actual email right here that I sent. You know, not only with like the information, but,
you know, just like, you figure like a dozen or more articles from scientific journals validating, you know, each aspect of the protocol. And, you know, the gentleman who was the intermediary, between the go-between, where, you know, he just got angry and frustrated and was like, listen, you ain't even got no proper education. I'm a PhD. If you come in and you saying that herbs can help him, then why would I give him your information and sell him your herbs when I could just sell him my herbs? I got moringa. I got a friend that lives in Jamaica. We could sell moringa. I can't tell you how many people over the years, over the last couple of decades, have had the ingenious idea to steal from me, to rob me. And I could just sell moringa to Dr. Dre, and, you know, and I'm like, herbs don't work that way. It's a science to it. It doesn't just, you know, you can't just one, you know, every plant is not, you know, not only is every plant unique, but each plant has more nutrients in it, more chemical compounds in them, put it like that. A plant has more chemical compounds that are unknown than what's known. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much stuff going on in plants, because plants synthesize new stuff daily. Like, the plant kingdom, rather, you know, there are more chemical compounds in the plant kingdom that are unknown than what's known. So, you know, anyway, point being, the brother completely saw an opportunity based on, you know, obviously listening to how I talk, how I dress, gold teeth, you know, and I think it's a problem more so based on us not being able to see ourselves in a specific light. So that's why I started the movement, Genius Lives Matter, you know, so that we can understand that, you know, we can break the stereotypes and the mold and the molds, and you know, a doctor doesn't have to look like an old Santa Claus. You know, yesterday's doctor is not today's doctor. Yeah. That's us. The moral of this story is, you don't know who you're blocking from getting this healing information when you attack someone's character. Now, when you stand in the middle of people, you don't know who you're blocking from getting this healing. This information might not be for you. It's for who you gonna pass it to. See, that's the thing about this. It's a butterfly effect. It's a domino effect at the same time. It's quantum.
Amazon! Fuck out of here! Hey, somebody called you? Woo! Thank you.
Play this song, we got love to make. Doctor's orders, we got babies to make. You always complain about money and time, but that don't matter if I can't raise my babies within this paradigm shift.
This is a story of how a young black boy abandoned in the most dangerous neighborhood in America, with no formal education, would do what no doctors, no scientists in the world could do, not even with billions of dollars in budgets, the most cutting edge technology to go with it. I mean, David and Goliath proportions, all while being a single father, battling a deadbeat baby mother, a broken system in a sick community that lost its identity centuries before he was even a twinkle in his mother's eye.
What is melanin? Melanin?
Heard of melanin?
Have you ever heard of melanin before? You ever heard of melanin before?
So melanin? No, never heard of it.
Have you ever heard of melanin before?
No. I guess this is where it starts with the nurse and doctor shortage in America. See, a nurse had done a triple shift at work, and while driving home like any other day, this day on Webster Avenue in the Bronx, on this day, she fell asleep at the wheel and ran over 3, not 1, 3 of my daughters. Two of my daughters had minor damage. However, the youngest, Amber, had a broken neck, a broken spine in 3 places, a completely crushed pelvis, her left leg was crushed, her left foot was crushed. They said she would be lucky if she made it out of ICU, but they didn't think she would make it, and if she did, she would never walk again. I had survived crack houses, dope dens, knife fights, shootouts, but nothing prepared me for that day. I remember right after 9/11 having a seizure and my heart stopped. I flatlined on that table for almost a minute, got up, healed myself, but still, nothing prepared me for that day. Or at least so I thought. But over the next few months, what God and I had accomplished with Amber, it was just the beginning. This is where it all started. Right here, 158th Street in the Bronx. My father was selling heroin. My mother was smoking crack. No one could imagine I would grow to become the world's leading naturopathic doctor on type 2 diabetes. Truth is, neither could I. My father and his friends made millions of dollars in Harlem selling heroin, selling plants. I too was destined to make millions from plants. The only difference is that while they would become known as American gangster, I would become known as the American healer.